Good evening and welcome to another episode here, Demon Phil, Comics and More, New Jersey. This is not necessarily an interview tonight.
Good evening and welcome to.
We're going to have some fun with this. Let me go ahead and make sure this is off of here.
Comics and More, New Jersey. This is not necessarily.
There we go. Technical difficulties, always fun. So before we get started on here, make sure that you can see and hear me on here. If you'll let me know in the comments, please. And then I'm going to need everybody that's in here to go ahead and start sharing this out. Get as many people in here as possible. My guests are sharing out as we speak as well. And we're going to have some fun with this tonight. We've got some giveaways and a grand prize that we can go through as well, depending upon how many people are in here. So let's go ahead and make this a big one, and we'll have some fun with this. Mark, welcome. Scott, welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And yes, the hat is nice. I do like that. It's more of a refined show. Tonight, we're actually going to be speaking with our pinkies up and everything. So it's going to be really, just cut straight and no shenanigans or anything tonight at all, as you'll see by my guests. I was very picky on the ones that I chose for this. And all right, let's give this just a couple more minutes here. If you'll get this shared out, I'd certainly appreciate that. All right, we got a few more people showing up in here. Great. Let's go ahead and let's give it about another minute. Go ahead and get you all in here and get you settled up on this. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for everything, for helping out with the shows, keeping going. And it looks like y'all want to keep me around a little bit longer, so it looks like I'll keep doing shows. I don't know. We'll find out after tonight if I actually keep doing shows or not. All right, so we got some shares out there, which is great. Let me go ahead and drop the banner back and make this official. All right. Demon Phil, Comics and More, New Jersey here, and got another show for you tonight. And tonight is the 1,000 followers on YouTube celebration show. Now, a lot of people are kind of thinking on that one going, wow, 1,000 followers is not that big of a deal. And you pretty much are right to a degree on that. However, whenever I first started into doing the shows, I only had a little over 200 followers on there. So in the span of less than 3 months, we went over 1,000 followers, which means obviously I'm either doing something right or I'm doing it so bad that everyone has to see how I'm failing at it. Either way, we got the followers. So it's all a great show. So that being said, I want to go ahead and start by thanking the sponsors, because that's the way I always start all my shows. And I definitely want to start that off tonight. So tonight we start off with Sub-Zero Mission, which is the one that I always tell you is probably the most important that I've got out of all of them. And everyone agrees on this because they actually save lives in their business. In their area, they actually go out and help the homeless veterans that are out there, give them the tools they need to go ahead and survive the winters that are out there. If you don't know enough about this, reach out to me and I will let you know any information you need regarding this. Next up, we have Totally Rad Comics, which has got Totally Rad Life of Violet #3, which is on Kickstarter now, and it is kickstarting ass too. So yeah, definitely get on there and jump on board because it's doing very well. We've also got Third Empire, which has got Mojo Rising, which should be coming out in the next week or two. Working through some issues on that and trying to get that set up to go. Whenever it is, you will definitely know whenever it happens. We got Codex Entertainment, which has got Lily the Demoness #4, which comes out June the 30th on Kickstarter. We have 183 Degree Studio, which is Kara Nicole and Alfred Trujillo, which they just got done with Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. And if I know them, they're not done, and they've got a lot more that's going to be coming out. So we'll be watching them and seeing what's going to be coming out on that one. We also have, let me see, I've actually got a list that I have to keep up because, getting old, you start forgetting things. We also have Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins, which will be coming out with #4 on the 24th, which is Fairy Day. So that'll be this month on the 24th, which is actually next week. It'll be coming out. And then, of course, Pantsless Pizza. And if you don't know enough about Pantsless Pizza, there's a lot more reveals to be coming along with that. So keep involved in that one. All right, so we've got a few people that are actually here in the audience. Thank you very much for being here, and let's make sure we get this shared out, try to get as many people in here as possible. That being said, let's go ahead and start bringing out our guests. You should know each of them that are going to be coming out. but I'm going to go ahead and give each one a time whenever we get everybody out here to go ahead and tell who they are, what they're doing, and where to find them. So let's go ahead and start off with Alfred and Kara.
Oh, hi.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry, like the screen changes shape, so it's kind of hard to cope. You know,
Yes.
how close. So
I'm
it's
over
a
here.
question.
I'm just coloring. Alfred's sharing.
Yep, and I'm
Doing stuff.
doing commissions too. So
Let's go ahead and bring out Tom Hutchison.
Hi, Tom.
Hello.
All right, let's go ahead and bring out. Actually, I caught him in the wild, Steph Wilson.
Yeah.
Stapleton.
We
I'm
also
gonna freeze every once in a while. So
Wild Man Wilson.
Wild Man Wilson, yes. We also have Jim E. Noble,
Hello, hello.
and we also have Chuck Pinot.
Oh my
What up?
gosh. What's up, Chuck?
Hey, Doug.
How's it going, gang?
Oh, I
have
can't
Jim, I
believe
love
it.
your T-shirt.
Oh,
We've
thanks.
got a full panel tonight. All right. First off, thank you everyone for being here on the panel. Thank you everyone for being in the audience here. This definitely means a lot to me with the brand and everything, and that's why we're on here, is because I can't stand talking about myself on my shows, as anyone who's watched any of my other shows have known this. So I'm going to kind of live vicariously through everyone else. So I'm going to ask some questions and kind of go through that. Before we get started, though, we're going to start off with Alfred and Kara. If you'll tell us who you are, what you do, and where to find you.
Well, you can usually find me at my house and sometimes at the QT.
You can't find her on Facebook because she's banned.
You can't find me on Facebook right now.
not
It's banned.
Facebook, that's
But you can
right.
look at old stuff and you could be like, which one has she not gotten banned for yet? Let's report that. Boom. Now I'm out forever. And you can
Don't
only
give 'em
find
ideas.
Don't give them ideas. You know, so yeah, you can find me at my house, and you can find me online at AZ Power Girl. I'm AZ Power Girl everywhere. And I'm a cosplayer and a colorist.
My name is Alfred Trujillo. I draw comic books. You can usually
Trujillo.
find me like sitting like right here in this portion of my house, like 100% of the time, because I'm usually chained here, like just
His ass is a
drawing away.
square
Square.
from sitting.
Oh, see.
What about you, Tom?
Tom Hutchison. I am the writer, publisher, art director at all of Big Dog Inc. Primarily, I hang out on Facebook. So, literally, if you are into the social media thing, come to Facebook. You can join my personal page. You can join the Big Dog Inc. page. Twitter and Instagram, if you should so desire, are BDI Comics. Dive in, and we're all over the place.
Excellent. And Steph.
Steph Wilson, just comic cover artist and sketch artist. You'll find me on about 5 Kickstarters this month and a couple more next month already.
5 Kickstarters.
Sorry. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. I'm blessed. I know that. I do have a website. Bad Carry Studios is my website. You'll find me on Facebook, and you'll usually find me in everybody else's live show chats being a real pain in the butt. So I'm all over Facebook. I think my average screen time on social media last week was something close to 10 hours a day. So if you can't find me, I'm doing something wrong.
That's rookie numbers, man. Rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers.
Now, how are you able to go ahead and have those kind of numbers and still be able to pop out to 5 Kickstarters and more of doing covers?
Very simple. My hashtag is no sleep in comics. You write sleep out of the equation, and you can do so much.
Now, I'm probably going to regret this, but let's go ahead and go to Jim. Who are you?
Jim.
What are you doing? Where are you from here?
All right. I'm Jimmy Noble. I am
I'm
the
going to regret
creator.
this, but I'll go to Jim.
I'm the creator and writer of Totally Rad Comics. You can find me on your local dating sites. Hide your daughter, hide your wife, hide your brother, hide your sister, hide your cousin, hide your uncle, hide your aunt, because I'm out there. I'm on Kickstarter. I'm on Facebook. Totally Rad Comics. You can also find me at Jim E. Noble, not Jimmy, Jime, period Noble, Noble. You can also find me on Instagram, Jim.E.Noble, Noble. Yeah, and you can also find me in my apartment, just having fun with my depression and making totally rad comics.
I found him at Farmers Only, actually. So, yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere. Yeah, true.
Chuck, what about you?
Dude, I got to say, before I even talk about myself, this is messed up because all these people I'm with make super sexy comics, and the only thing that is sexy about my comics is the author. So it's just really weird to me that I'm even in this panel.
Does your wife write your books?
Yeah, right?
Oh. Sorry about Karen.
You and I are going to get along just great, hon. What's up, everybody? I'm Chuck Fino. That's how you spell it. You can find me on Facebook because I'm not banned yet. You can find me on Twitter because I'm not banned yet. You can find me on YouTube because they're getting close to it. You can find me on YouTube, Chuck's Raw Reviews, and you can find me all over the place, Kickstarter, everywhere.
Woo!
Excellent. So we have got a good group of people up here that I chose personally to go ahead and have on the panel tonight. I looked at it before we got on here. 57 episodes is what I've done so far, not including unscripted and not including some of the others. I will say, because Tom is going ahead and reminding me right now, Tom has been up here more than anyone else. He is up to number 5 on the appearances on my show.
Wait. Are we counting unscripted?
We're not counting unscripted.
Oh, damn it, because I beat that.
And are you counting the episode where he introed December? Because does that count as an episode too?
That he's counting that as an episode too. Yeah.
Okay.
It was 30 minutes. Anything 30 minutes or longer is an episode.
Now we can officially get started now because Russell Allen is here. This is going to get very interesting very quickly.
Oh.
I'm not wearing pants already, so I'm good to go.
I can't see the chat, so I'm safe right now.
Well, he'll show it to us.
Oh yeah, I'll be showing it what I can. Yes. No, but I mean, I chose this group right here because I have some notes that I actually wrote down. Like I said, I really don't script that much whenever I do these things, but I did some research and whatnot.
You can tell. It
So, I chose Tom because great publisher, great crowdfunding at what he does and everything. So that's the main reasons that I chose him for this one as far as what he does in the business. Chuck, because of his editing and because of what he does in trying to help move things around and get groups together. Kara, because of her business acumen and her cosplay. There was a lot of that involved. I've gotten to know each of you very well on the sides with all this. Jim, I'm going to leave you for last.
Oh.
Steph, for your art, for
Thank
circles, circles, of course.
Right.
Best
Your
circles
social
in the business.
Yes.
So your social media is definitely up there. Jim, because of your writing and your inspiration.
He is creative.
He is
creative.
He is very much. And it's very cool that I have y'all up here and being able to enjoy this moment and everything together with y'all and everyone else who's in the audience and everything with this. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this. This is going to be going on for roughly 2 hours. So get ready for this. And if you weren't ready before, I apologize, but you're kind of stuck in the panel now.
I'm surrounded.
Leave button.
I'll just have my mannequin fill in for a while.
I'm going to have to throw my phone into the freezer to cool it down from overheating.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What is wrong with your phone? What is it, a track phone or something?
No, it's a shameless plug. It's a Samsung Galaxy S8.
Aren't those the ones that explode?
Maybe. Apparently.
We'll find out.
There'll be a big flash right on his screen, and it'll just black out.
And there'll be a rectangle burn mark on my face.
Right.
And the screen just...
Well,
You sound like a really bad villain.
I know, it is Jim's birthday week.
In the face.
Yeah,
Well,
like
Jim's
when
birthday week.
Daffy Duck gets shot in the face, and it's
Yeah.
black, and his bill's
I know,
upside down.
My bill's on the other side. And...
His nose would be on the back of his head.
It's Jim's birthday week, so why not go out with a bang?
Woo! Hey, tell that to my lady friend.
Hey, how old are you,
So
Jim?
polite.
I am 27 years old.
Oh my God, he's a baby.
He's not old enough to be on this show.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Did you get
hey,
your parents' permission?
It said if you're 18 or older, click this link, and I've been clicking that link since I was 13. I know how this works.
Jim, you have to be this age or above to get it.
Well, I thought we were making a height joke.
That too.
Phil, you didn't have a script or anything, did you?
No, not at all.
Okay, all right.
I'm just looking at it now going, okay, it looked great on paper whenever I put this together. Now this is becoming that disaster that we always talk about.
I would like to see the paper that you wrote our names on, that it somehow looks great. What the hell are you even talking about?
If the note on the side wasn't train wreck, I don't know what you're thinking.
You ever have those times, writers, where you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just like, oh, this is brilliant. You write everything down. You go back to sleep. You wake up and then you're like, oh, that was shit. I think that's what this list of names is.
Right.
Like, he's like, oh, this is a brilliant lineup. Yes. He wakes up and he's like, well, I already wrote it down. I might as well.
Might as well do it. Jim's Are you going to the freezer, Jim?
Maybe.
Jim's putting his phone in the freezer right now.
I gotta move some pizzas. Hold on.
This is the top rack technology that Totally Rad Comics employs in producing comics. They put their phones in the freezer.
And
Why did you think that?
Jay says hi.
Hey, my girl, how you doing, my love?
Hey, Jay.
You should take that $1,000 that you made in 10 seconds and put it into a new fucking phone, dude.
Yeah, right?
You know what the worst part is about being in the freezer? I have to stay on my tiptoes just so you can see my face.
You need to get a freezer on the bottom.
Yes,
it's the bottom freezer.
Exactly.
He needs a bar stool.
Oh, Lordy.
You'll just buy a new freezer instead of buying a phone. It's cheaper going with the phone.
Didn't you just take some frozen peas out of the freezer and put your phone
No,
on
pizzas.
them?
Red Baron.
Take that profile picture of that smart fridge.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
Lordy.
I'm going to ask some questions now.
Good
I
luck.
hope it's not about my freezer.
No, not about your freezer. So I'm going to ask a question that we're going to go around the panel here and just get your answers on this. What was one milestone that meant so much to you, and that whenever you actually made it, what were your emotions whenever you attained it? And we'll start with Alfred and Kara.
Go ahead, Alfred.
Milestone. Yeah, get back to me on that one. We'll
I don't
we're always
know.
striving forward,
I mean-
always trying to,
Okay, so I would have to say recently for my calendar campaign, I had a $30,000. It was $30,000, right? A $30,000 goal, and someone kept posting, "You're never gonna make it. You're never gonna get that. You're not gonna get that." And I'm like, "Boom! Fuck you! I did."
Good for you.
All right.
Well, yeah, like I don't appreciate when people like do that. You know, like
It's a bullshit move.
yeah, you're never gonna do that. Watch me.
Tom, what about you?
I think, well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's definitely a lot of stuff like Cara. I mean, we've had that kind of thing in the past. I had one guy who at a con with other people around, he was like, so when are you going to do nude covers for Scheherazade? I'm like, we're not doing nude covers for Scheherazade. It's just not happening. We don't do it for that book. He says, he literally out loud was like, yeah. You'll do them when your sales fall off. So here we are 10 years later. We haven't done a nude cover for Scheherazade yet. So right there, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Steph,
Well,
what
there's
about
some
you?
books that just don't.
Me?
Yeah.
Like I said, this time last year, I was getting my first cover. So, I mean, the way you guys blow through stretch goals or have an amazing Kickstarter day one is just like legendary. You blow through every goal you could imagine. That's literally been my year. The weird thing is I've had a couple milestones, but I passed by them so quickly. Like I've got on my phone still, I saved a picture where Tom said, "Hey, let's do a cover." You know, Big Dog Inc. I mean, I you know, had looked at their covers and their comics for so long as a fan to have Tom sending me a message on my phone saying, "Let's get you a cover." Like, that's a milestone. And then there were other milestones and then other ones. So all year long, it's been like that. The weird thing is the one milestone recently with my live show where we decided to do that "you can draw" thing, you know, where we all play around with a pencil and draw some silly little character. When that little girl, Chloe, drew, I think, Godzilla's, and then her mom sent me a picture of her holding up the picture. For me, that's a milestone because it means, you know, I mean, the fans and everything are awesome and stuff, but it means some little girl out in California was drawing along with me and having fun. And that's kind of how I probably got to where I am now. So that was a milestone for me, is that I'm touching people's lives in a way I wouldn't be able to have done in my job or even in comics unless, you know, I was with the group of people like you guys that I'm with now, where this stuff gets shared out and spread around. So that would be my milestone.
Now, Russell had a different idea about your milestone. It was pretty close to what you said. I mean, it was right.
Yeah, same ballpark. I want to get to the level where I got to put my phone in the freezer because it's burning up. It's so hot. That's my next milestone.
It's all the pretty lady covers I have on my phone.
So, Jim, milestone, something about, you know, phone, freezer, or something like that.
You got a new freezer. That's the milestone.
That's a good milestone.
It's milestone. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, there's so many things that I've only been doing this for a year, and there's so many things that happened to me that it's like, if that isn't a milestone, then the next thing is, and it's like, I don't know, like, so I mean, working of Larry Wells and doing Cherry Comics for Larry Wells, that's a big milestone for me. The fact that I'm literally doing an underground comic, a character that's been around since the 70s, that's a pretty big milestone. And another milestone for sure would definitely be the day one of getting funded in 10 seconds and surpassing in one day what my last two Kickstarters made, over what my last two Kickstarters made in 30 days. That's not something I was expecting, to be honest.
Yeah, you were a little shocked.
Yeah. I kept refreshing it and thinking someone's playing a prank on me. I'm like looking through the backers, seeing who pledged for what. Like, this can't be real. 10,000? No.
Phil, I literally messaged him and said, you know, some people do stretch goals on Kickstarter. Any thoughts on that? He's like, I never even got a chance.
All my stretch goals that I had planned out, I thought the Kickstarter would end like at 11,000. So all the stretch goals I planned out, we technically unlocked all of them, and I was like, well, I can't just unlock all of them. I gotta plan it out. I have to add more. So it's just like, oh my god.
So for those of you that are watching, all you have to do is go to the Kickstarter and get involved right now, and you get all the stretch goals. That's what Jim just said, right?
Right. There's a lot more coming. Trust me.
Chuck, what about you? I know you got something.
Yeah, man. I got, you know, some coming up, which, you know, you're always looking for that next step, man. But right now, if I'm looking back, the two moments, and you said, you know, when you get weepy, you know, like when it really becomes hard to hold your emotion. I would say, as someone who wanted to be a writer his whole life and to see his name on covers, the first time I saw my name credited as an editor, that really got me in the gut. And the next one was when I opened up that first box of Welcome to the Voids and saw my book that I had published and I had made, and in the huge boxes and just a fuck ton of them. And it was such an amazing feeling. I remember being really quiet, and I did it live. And my kid is watching me, and she's like, "Daddy, you're not saying anything." And I'm like, my fat ass doesn't have a single word to say right now. Like, I don't know what to say, because I was just so blown away to finally touch my book, finally see my name on that cover. It was nuts. So those would be the milestones for me.
And I got to grade that book.
You did. That's still the funniest. I tell that story all the time. If Jim Noble comes up, I tell that story. Yeah, that's hilarious.
So for people who are watching and don't know, Chuck and I actually met at a convention last year at the Dallas. Was it the Dallas Fan Expo or Dallas Fan Days?
No,
North Dallas.
North Texas. The North Dallas Comic Con.
Yes, the North Dallas Comic Con, and I had that week I had graded a book, and you could see in Chuck's background, you could see his banner, and that's the cover for his book. And I said, hey man, I've read your book, and Chuck was like, no way, there's no way you've read this book. I go, no, and I showed him the last page. I said, this is your character right here. I even put on the label the first appearance of his character, and like he had just submitted that like the week before, like 2 weeks before that. And he thought I was messing with him. I was like, no, seriously, I've read your book. He's like, no one's read this book. I was like, I did.
It was like, I know everyone who's bought this book. Like, there's no damn way that you got it. And then you're like, no, I graded it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got that for me for a Father's Day gift. Okay, yeah. So that was hilarious.
Now, that's very cool. Now, I want to go ahead and bring up something real quick before we go into some more of the questions on here. Because I had mentioned about giveaways and a grand prize. So I know some people were paying attention to that. So if you're in here, stick it out because you're going to want to, because that's the only way you got a chance at the grand prize. There were going to be 5 giveaways. There are now 4. That is because I made the decision on my own, and I'm sure everyone will back me on this. Russell Allen gets one automatically because he's been doing everything. He's
Super fan.
He's been in everybody's shows. He goes in and he does everything. He gets in there and he gets the tempo going. He helps people out, helps share out everything. So
Yep, and he give anything for you.
Well, then I'll tell you what. Then we'll bring it back up to 5, and however you're going to do it, you tell me. Whoever the 5th is going to get a copy of the catnip, brand new catnip cover that we just got. We'll make that your back to your 5 prizes.
Nice.
How do I qualify there, Phil?
You don't. You don't qualify.
Crap! I need that catnip cover.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, I really want that.
No, because today I was messaging with Tom because I'm working on something, and I was like, I got no point of reference. And at some point, it was so funny because I'm going back and forth. I'm like, Gotham style, this style, and he goes, Tim Burton. And I'm like, almost like, why didn't you just say that in the beginning? That's the key word right there. You exactly know what art style to do when you say Tim Burton. Tell me you don't have a visual already what it's got to look like in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steph dropped his catnip rough today. That'll be part of our ClickCon thing that we're doing in September. So we're way ahead of schedule, but that's always good when you're doing a Kickstarter, is to get as much done as you can before you're actually live.
Yes.
Yep. Oh yeah.
All right. So before we get going on the next question, let me ask anyone in the audience that's over here, if I don't recognize your name over here, if you've got a different name than you normally have over here, if you'll let me know who you are so that I can go ahead and put you on the list, because you definitely want to be on there for a chance at the grand prize at the end. So,
I'm Jimmy Noble. I'm the writer and creator of Totally Rad Comics.
And technically, I have Tom over here in the comments, but I can't put him on for that. So that, yeah, just going to
Bill,
throw
is
it out
one
there.
of the prizes a new freezer? Just
Yeah, if it's a freezer, can I have it, please?
throw
Give me a
that
mini
out.
fridge. Or, I've been thinking about buying like one of those freezer packs and just taping it to my phone when I'm doing live videos.
Yeah, dude, just get a cooler with some ice and just set it in the ice there, and you'll be fine. That way you can move around the house, do whatever you need to do.
All right, make it a portable cooler. Yeah, nothing too big.
He can put it in his red wider wagon.
Yes. There could be something wrong with your phone, Jim, is what we're saying.
Maybe.
I know nobody who has to do that to their phone.
I don't know. Maybe I honestly I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's never gotten this hot before. Maybe because I have so many files of naked ladies, comic ladies, not naked ladies, like my comic book stuff.
Okay.
I have so much.
Yeah, sure.
So much artwork on my phone.
Yeah, take away.
Do me a favor, Jim. Flip the phone over. Does it actually say Samsung or does it say Samsung? Is this,
No,
it
did
says
you get this
Samsung.
at an actual store?
It says OtterBox when I flip it over.
I'm pretty
I'm not
sure on
sure
the
it's
other
a
side.
real phone.
I'm pretty sure on the other side it actually says Samsung. Is what it is.
Right.
It's Samsung. It's different. It's a
That's
porn
really none
phone.
of your business.
Phil, about that script. Anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah. Now I've got one over here. The name on it is "Let's Do This." I don't know who you are. If you'll let me know what your name is, so I can go ahead and put you in the drawing.
And we can do this.
Let's do this. Let's get busy.
Now, while that's coming up, let me go ahead and ask, what has been the largest obstacle that you've had in your career, and what did you do to overcome that?
Oh God, people aren't gonna like. I like these questions, but the answers are rough. So here's the real story. Oddly enough, the biggest obstacle in my career has been retail stores. This is where it's going to get ugly, guys. When I started this 10 years ago, I came into it happy and excited, and oh my God, I'm in Diamond Comics and I'm going to be in retail stores, and holy shit, man. Only to find out that retail stores really don't give two shits about indie comics. Of the roughly 2,000-ish comic book stores in America, about 500 of them buy indie comics in any sort of real heavy quantity. The rest of them are like, I had a customer that asked for one, so I'll buy one and put it in their pull box. Nothing hits the shelf. So the retail market is its own worst enemy, unfortunately. And it held us back to a point where I just said, see ya. And when we broke off at Aspen about 4 years ago, I had to make the decision. Am I just going to go right back into Diamond and go back into retail stores, or I'm going to figure out a new way to do this? And because we had always had such great success with Comic Cons and direct sales, like, here's my book, it's yours, put it in your hand. I just said, screw this. We're going to start anyway by doing Kickstarters and sort of rally our troops and our fan base and kind of gather them all back and be like, look, this is how we're going to do it now. I'm going to write the book. I'm going to print the book. I'm going to sell it to you, and I'm going to ship it to you. And that's it. You don't have to do anything else. No Diamond, no ordering, no retail stores. And I know that's shitty to say, especially in this climate, because retail stores are closing all the time. But retail stores, in most cases, don't do what they need to do to better themselves. And I'm not saying that they have to carry every indie title, of course not. But they don't do even some of the most bare bones work to know what their customers would potentially buy if they were to put it on the shelf. So retail stores always slowed us down, and we moved away from them, and now we're thriving.
And that makes a lot of sense with that. I mean, it's something that change has to happen in order for change to happen. I mean, that's a given there. If you go ahead and keep going with the status quo and doing what everyone else is doing, it's going to get stagnant. There's no getting around that.
Yep.
Phil, just with what Tom was saying, and I just shake my head when I think of retail stores sometimes. I got into art, not into comics. I don't know the Batman storyline. I don't know the Spider-Man storyline from 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I followed art, and then comics came along. And I walk into the local comic book shop, and there is a wall of comics that mean nothing to me because I don't know their existing storylines, right? And I see this wall of comics, and I walk along it with art in my mind and thought in my mind. And maybe 3 out of these hundreds of comics from your DC, your Marvel, and everything, 3 of them stand out to me because the cover is appealing or exciting. Where if I didn't know comics, I would want to pick that up and read what's inside of it because there's something on the cover that's telling me there's something going on in this book. 3 out of the entire wall. Like, if there isn't a problem with that, because not everybody has grown up on comics. What about the people who are going to walk into this experience the first time? And when you see that retail wall, how much excitement is on that?
Well, and I'll take that to the next level. Most retail stores, I don't have a book in front of me, but most retail stores, when they put it on the rack, this is what you see.
Yeah, the title.
A title. There's no art. We spend a shit ton of money to put art on these covers that looks like this. Stop hiding the damn cover, because people don't know what Critter is. People don't know what Catnip is. But if they saw the cover sitting out there and they go, God damn, that's a cool piece of art, like Steph's talking about, they might be attracted to something that they don't know what it is. But so many stores just do that whole, racking where you're only seeing the title, which doesn't mean anything. It's great if you're just looking for Batman. There's Batman, I see it, I grab it. But what's Critter? What's Oz? What's what's anything that I do. They don't know, but the cover is there to help them sell that when I can't sell it for them. But, you know,
and there's so many exciting new ways of storytelling in indie comics right now. You know, just new ways of graphically telling stories. And you're never going to see that in a shop. So, you know, there's no way to pull people in with new forms of writing or new forms of art or new styles of storytelling, because same old. They got their same pull list crap on that wall week after week, and nothing new and exciting.
Yeah, there's a store down in Texas, Space Cadets, run by Jen King. And I went down to her store. Yeah, I went down to her store for the first time as I was coming back to the Midwest. And her store, she has it set up like by publisher, but not just simply by publisher, like racked. She has like actual legitimate kiosks. Like, here's the Valiant section, and here's the Zenoscope section, here's the Aspen section. And it's all set up so you can see the covers, so that when you walk in, it's just like you're in a freaking museum, and it's just art everywhere. And you're like, oh my God, look at all this stuff that you would never see if it was just racked and a third of the thing showing. So congrats to Jen on her setup, and to anybody who does it that way, because those are the guys that have figured it out, that the art helps sell more books. Even if you're selling more Batman, who cares? You're selling more books.
You know, because like if you walk into a Disney store, and if anybody knows about marketing, it's Disney. You walk into a Disney store and you are surrounded. The product is presented in a way that it's just like, you know, everywhere you look. You know, if it's not Lilo and Stitch, it's this and that and this and that. It's like a visual experience.
And you can see it all. There's nothing covered.
You walk into a comic book store, a lot of times 75% of the store is like a library where you're looking at the ends of books or the long boxes. They've got more space devoted to long boxes for people to flip through for dollar books than they do for the new stuff that's coming out.
Well, there's a reason spinner racks were made the way they were, so that way you could actually see all of the art that was on there as you spin that thing around and figure out what you want to get.
Right.
So, I mean, there's definitely some things that could be changed on that, and I agree with that. And another thing that I would like to see in the LCSs is more of the staff actually recommending things and not doing blind recommendations. Don't say what Diamond says is hot for the month. Let's hear what your thoughts are. You get all these things for free in digital format, or you get them before everyone else gets a chance to touch them. You get to look at them and all. Why don't you go ahead and give us your opinions? That's what I would love to start seeing.
You mean go back to seeing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Wendy is here. Thank you, Wendy, for being here. Thomas is here, and it looks like David Fott is here too.
Hey, David.
Hey, David. Yeah.
Nice profile pic, dude.
Hey, did Starbucks let him off early? That's never going away, David. It's never going away. But just know that we love you.
Right.
Alfred and Tara, what about y'all? What comes into y'all's mind for that?
Well, I think it's different for each of us. For me, being a cosplayer, I always get shoved over in cosplay corner. You know, people don't see you as anything other than a person in a costume. You get asked to do a panel on cosplay. Well, what about cosplay? The business side of cosplay, the crafting side of cosplay, the safety side of cosplay, the purchasing, like the legalities. Like, there's so much, but people don't know, and they don't want to know. They just, oh, these are the weirdos over there. Like, we've become the nerds of the nerds. Nobody knows what's going on with us, and I get just shoved in that. Whereas, I'm also a publisher, a writer, a colorist. I have all these other things, and nobody knows what the hell to do with me. They're like, well, where do we put you? We put cosplayers over there, and it's always in some dark, dank corner. Right. Like, even if you look at some of the bigger conventions, a lot of times the cosplayers end up in the uncarpeted area over by the food court or the bathroom. Yep. People don't know what to do with us, especially me. So
getting flashbacks.
I know, right? And then poor Alfred gets stuck in that section too, and he's like, "I'm an artist, and now I'm stuck over here." Some conventions have been
stuck with the cosplay,
right? So some conventions have been pretty good. They will, they'll like put us near the cosplayers in an art section where we can kind of hit both, but people just don't know what to do with me. you know, and a lot of you guys have figured out, hey, cosplay covers do have a place. And I know, like with the one that I just did for Jim, people are like, yeah, I bought mine. You know, so I'm really trying to bridge that gap. And actually, that's something that Tom's been doing for years. Like, he got it forever ago, that cosplay and comics go together. So just trying to get people to understand what we're trying to do and get cosplay legitimized as an art form has been very difficult.
You know, when I saw you in Baltimore, they had you facing the back wall, I think. Do you remember?
I do.
And yet, that back corner, you couldn't get around because your booth was mobbed. Like, hello, wake up. You stuck her in the back. You created a fire hazard by taking somebody this epic and popular and shoving him into the back corner of a room. It blew my mind. I was like, what are you doing back here?
It was, we bought in late. And they don't know.
They don't know.
They have
no idea. They do now.
Hashtag they don't know.
Yeah, I hope that they learn. But yeah, Alfred?
You know, I guess a lot of it is just the time management aspect of it. It's almost like we can be as successful as we have time to get the stuff done, and planning things out in advance is kind of a must when you get to that level. It's just about making sure that logistically, like, everything can happen. I mean, that's like on a daily basis, just trying to figure out, like, you know, where to put things so that, like, just everything can get done and we can get stuff out to the fans. Because at the end of the day, that's what's important, putting the things out in their hands and getting it all done.
Even just organization of where do we had to actually take an entire section of our house and turn it into like a shipping warehouse.
All right, so let me see. Jim, same question to you.
Well, for
He's
me,
too new at this. He doesn't have any problems.
yeah. Well,
He's doing
trust
fine.
me. Doing adult books, just starting out in adult books, it has its problems to begin with, especially when you're trying to get into cons and they don't know who you are, and they're like, "Well, what books do you do?" And you show them, and they're like, "Well, you can't sell that here." And it's like, well, like even the tame. I did a show earlier this year, and they said, even these covers you can't have out on your table. I go, but there's no nudity on these covers, and they go, yeah, it's too sexy to have on the table. There's kids, but it's like, it wasn't even a revealing cover. It was just like one of like my regular cover, you know. And it's really difficult being like in the Bible Belt when you're doing adult books and you're trying to go to a show and you literally have a cosplay cover and you work with a cosplayer that's local and they announce that cosplayer as a special guest for the show, and you're like, hey, you know, she's on covers of my comic book and you guys won't even let me in the show. And then once I told them that, then they're like, oh yeah, we'll get you a table. And it's like, but like, you know, of course, yeah, I pay for it and everything, but it's like, even when I can pay for it, they're like, even then they're like, you can't sell this, and this. So like more than half of my stock of my books, I can't even sell up front. Well, I mean, for obvious reasons, but it's also just very difficult. Just the con scene, especially down in Texas, is just, it hasn't been good to me so far. But then the COVID hit, so it's like, well, I'm not doing shows anyways, so I guess I'm really not missing out on much right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad that it's set up that way, but I mean, too many people have abused the system, so they have to be a little more strict, but they actually need to lay eyes on what they're putting the rules on. They can't just blanket rule and then go out there saying no covers from this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Well,
Right.
okay, but what if I've only got a stick figure cover that I'm putting out here and I know everything's okay with it? Doesn't matter, you're in this list. Well, that makes no sense. So they actually need to throw some eyes out there, and I think that people are going to start realizing they got to put a little more effort into the cons coming out of all this, because they're going to want to stay open, because now they're starting to realize that they're not as necessary as they were before, that there are other options, kind of like what a certain distributing company found out as well. We're not going there.
No. Not unless you want YouTube to shut you down.
Chuck, what about you?
Well, Jim, the answer to your thing is very easy. You just do what we did in high school. When you were checking out a Playboy, you put a Time Life in front of it. So just like have some shitty sleepover covers, you know, and then as soon as they buy them, be like, oh yeah, I gotta take that. And then you give them your titties and you move the fuck on.
Jim, buy a couple long boxes of BDI books. Put your book inside the BDI Scheherazade, because those are not.
You take my book and you sell it for twice the value, but yours is free.
Right.
And then we split it.
Right.
That's a good idea. So, for me, really early on, it was name recognition. Coming in as a writer, like how the hell do you even? It's so difficult to come in as a writer because it's like everyone can write. Like in a lot of people's points of view, any asshole can write. So why does what you have to say matter at all? And that was really difficult. So for me, it was all about name recognition. I became an editor because of that. I got my name on a fuck ton of books. I worked my ass off. I've been on so many shows. Like I just did everything I could so that when people saw the name Chuck Pino, even as editor, they'd be like, oh shit, okay, that means something. But like I literally spent the last 4 years and, you know, everything I have just so that that name means something. And to be an editor and people, and even in like the lower tier indies, and people go, oh shit, yeah, I know him. It just goes to show like you just got to work your ass off. And so for me, name recognition was the big thing that I pushed.
And that makes a lot of sense with that, because that's something you definitely want to go ahead and get your reputation out there in a positive way and make sure that everybody gets your name out there again, positive way, because there is so much as just forcing yourself out there in a negative context of you will know my name. And it's kind of like, okay, and the name means what? I mean, what do I do with this?
There's some names I know, but I'm like, I ain't buying shit from that dude.
All right, so now we are, let me see, we're a little bit into this. I'm feeling like giving away something right now. So I think we're going to do one.
Yeah, give it all away.
So here's the way I'm going to play the first giveaway. I have 5 panelists up here with me. I need the first person who goes ahead and puts in YouTube one title from each of them that they have worked on. First person who puts that in there goes ahead and wins a prize package.
Chuck, move your head to the right.
A couple of us mentioned them, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've been paying attention, and there's also
there's one in the background up there.
Exactly. Yeah, there's stuff in the background on some of them too.
Hey man, if you're not branding, what are you doing?
Right.
Well, I had a really big sticker, but it fell. So.
Oh.
Put it in your fridge. Maybe it'll help.
I do have banners. I should put banners up on it.
Phil, are we on YouTube or are we on Facebook?
We are on YouTube.
We're on YouTube. Okay, yeah. So I could show boobs, right?
Not your own, but yeah.
Keep your shirt on.
Yeah, so, yeah, I had this. It was a 6 by 8 inch sticker that was hanging up on my wall over here, but then it fell. So yeah, so now I just got this little 11 by 17.
Maybe if you put the sticker in the freezer.
Yeah. Literally, that's the reason why it fell, was because it was too hot.
All right, so just to show the prizes here, we have got convention bag.
Oh.
From Naughty
Which
Fairy.
is pretty great because there are none. So, you know, you're not gonna get one of those this year.
Right, you're not getting one of those this year, exactly.
Wendy was kind.
Hey, I have a bunch. I mean, I don't have any of those.
Wendy was kind enough to send a bunch of stuff for the giveaways on this. I definitely appreciate that.
Oh,
hell yeah.
So you're gonna be getting quite a few things on there: photographs, postcards. This particular one that I picked up, each one is a little bit different. This one actually comes with a Lady Death sticker as well.
Ooh.
Oh.
Some TRC sticker. I don't know what that means. Something.
Hey, I got one of those too.
There is a Book of Lyaxia sticker in there. Since Lewis is here, we have got the Lily Demoness. We have the tarot card from there.
Oh yeah, hey Lewis.
Some guy named Steph Wilson sticker in here. We got more cards and whatnot in here.
Wow.
Now,
no one is taking a shot at this. Am I seeing that the comments properly? No one's taking a shot at this.
Actually, Russell is, but Russell, you've already got a pack, dude. So whoever can copy and paste Russell.
Yeah, just copy whatever Russell's saying. Just copy and paste.
Copy and paste it.
Freaking know it all.
I mean, I'm still going through with this. I was putting this thing together throughout today. It's got a magnet in here, and then we finish it off with a whole mess of Brian Silverback's trading cards.
Oh, wow.
I think there's 7 or 8 of them in here. And it's also got a lanyard.
What?
Yep.
Man, you got all sorts of things.
So I put quite a few things together on here. So we have got
kind of got half my thing right. Totally Rad what? There's like 5 different titles I have that start with Totally Rad.
Yeah, Jim,
pretty creative there.
not every book has to start that way. Trust me.
I know. It's, you know how hard it is
Some of the titles are getting a little on the long side.
Yeah. I realized that after I was doing my last book.
When did you write Totally Rad Life of COVID?
Don't say things like that. He'll start writing that tonight.
It's not the totally rad life of COVID. It's the totally bad life of COVID.
All right, so
You need to talk about a parody.
I'm going to
Don't
consider
get him
that.
started.
This is
He will
it. This
start
is the
writing.
rad life of COVID. This is what happened during COVID. This is it.
Yes.
It's just page after
Yeah.
page of people talking to each other
I love it.
through a video.
That a win.
We are literally a comic book page right now. 6 panels, all saying weird shit at the
wow.
same time.
Oh man, I could be like an action panel.
Yes.
No, yours is just going to be, if I were to write yours, it would be Jim, interior, freezer. You know, like, it'd be very easy.
Jim is about to become the explosion panel.
Hilarious.
One explosion panel in the
You just see a fire like from under me come from the phone.
So Mark, you won that one. Thank you, Mark, so much for that one. You're also going to win one of these as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Christy Shin drew me out. So you know that's a picture of me, and that is actually her signature and everything there. I can send that.
That's a
as
hell of a
file
likeness.
if you like.
I know, it's dead on.
Oh, yeah.
No, the other one is more dead on.
That's
Jim,
what Steph was talking about earlier.
Jim knows what the other one is. So
Yeah.
So Mark, I'm gonna have to get with you afterwards and get your information. So remind me of that and send me a message. So moving along with this one, what has been the biggest way that you have given back to the fans?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Giving
Alfred,
back to the fans. I mean, isn't this what we're doing? Isn't this it? This is it.
He'll be back.
I was told not to refund my fans.
not give back your fans, give back to you.
Well, I think the easy answer to that is, and this is more of a, it was a con thing, of course, is whenever you meet your fans at a con, you should be happy to be signing books. You should be happy to be taking pictures. You know, if they're on social media and doing this kind of stuff, you know, we love it when the fans show up and shoot the shit with us on these videos. You know, it's what you do to give back to the fans is the appreciation that they are why you are doing what you're doing. Because if they're not there, if they're not your fan, then you don't get to do what you're doing anymore. So between that and you know, if the fan is an artist, an aspiring artist, and they want to show me their portfolio, I do portfolio reviews at the booths and stuff like that. So you know, you give back to them, I think, by giving yourself to them. I mean, they're already buying your books. There's nothing else you can do there. But at that point, it's like, yeah, let's take a picture. Let's give me that stack of books. I'm going to sign all 100 of them right now. You know, whatever it is. In my mind, that's how you take care of the fans.
And that makes a lot of sense with that. Steph,
You know-
I'm going to ask you because you've had a lot of stuff going on with this where you've been giving back to the fans quite a bit.
You know, part of it is, I mean, you can give back by, like, you know, throw them a free sketch. Somebody who was in the Navy saw that somebody was interested in one of my works, but he was deployed, and some guy just randomly, because he was in the Navy, bought it for him and asked me to set it aside until the guy got back from deployment. Like, so I see kindness going on, like, constantly. For me, giving back to the fans, it's no effort. The thing is, you know, I was talking about it on my show last night. I've discussed in chats with fans hair color, shoes to wear to a funeral, things like that happen in my chats. That's the level that I connect with my fans, because it's fun. That's the fun part. Look, I mean, we can, you know, I can sell art and I can draw sketches and they can buy them and they can support me. And that's why I'm here. That's how I got here. But while I'm here, let's talk about the TV that you had, the big screen TV you had that just exploded, like earlier today. Like, one of my fans literally just on my chat message, I look down and it says, FML, my big screen TV just blew up. Like, in the middle of the day, for no reason, they felt pissed off and they wanted to tell me that their TV blew up. That's the level. Like, that's not giving back. That's being part of the group that you're with. My fans are my friends. So for me, giving back is just being able to hang out with these people and learn about what's going on with them and you know, what's going on in their lives, because that's far more interesting than talking about my art. Because to me, I mean, I'm glad they're excited about my art, but to me, it's just what I do and I enjoy doing it. But I like to know about the people that are buying it and what, you know, what kind of relationship we're going to build.
And it makes a lot of sense, and it is true, because we'll get on your shows and we'll talk about the most
Bizarre
off-the-wall things that have nothing to do with what you're drawing at the time, and you'll have a blast with it. Sometimes you have to kind of reel it in a little, but it's, I mean, overall, it's fun because you get to know your fans even more so on that end. I mean, even if you have to get to know Russell a little bit more.
Yeah, more than maybe I want to. But, but what you see on the live shows, that conversation, there's that 10 hours of screen time on social media. Those conversations you see on my show continue in my chats on my phone or in the comments on my phone. It is a constant interaction with, you know, the people that support me and like me. And in turn, I'm learning about what's going on in their lives. And that to me is far more interesting than talking about me. I love hearing about what's going on with them, you know?
Very true. Lewis, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to stay freaked out on that one a little bit. I don't know what's freaking you out too much. I mean, yeah, we look almost like twins here, I guess. I don't know.
Leave it to Lewis. It's either Lewis or Russell with a comment like that.
Oh, yeah. So, Jim, what about you?
Well, I mean, a lot of what Steph said is pretty much what I was going to say. You know, to me, they're not fans. Like, they're not just fans or friends. Like, I talk to just about all my fans. Like, all my fans are friends with me on Facebook. And I mean, hell, I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning last night talking to one of my fans. You know, he's not really a fan anymore. He's basically become like almost the best friend at this point. We've never met, but I've talked to this guy just about every single day since the first book he ever bought for me. Like, we're always talking about something. It's not always totally rad stuff. It's about, you know, like, hey man, did you see this by, you know, this new music video? Did you see that Motley Crue's going back out on tour? Stuff like that. I mean, and you know, and not just giving back to fans, but I recently did a charity book where I was giving back to, you know, I was helping the Fisher House Foundation, which was helping disabled vets and military families, and all the profits for that book, you know, including shipping, I just donated all that to the Fisher House. And all the fans that bought that book, all that money went, you know, if it wasn't for them, you know, I wouldn't have been, and Steph and Carrie, you know, because of that wonderful cover, I was able to donate a big portion, you know, a giant portion to the Fisher House and help them out, you know,
which is cool.
What about you, Tom?
I went first.
Oh, you went first?
Are you paying attention?
Tom did first. He gave a great answer.
About that script, Phil.
Well, Chuck, it's you then.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Steph nailed it. Everybody had really good points. So a lot of those would have been things I said. But I guess going above and beyond, remembering that it's not all about profit. There, I remember at one show, actually my first show, this little girl comes up and I had this really nice kids book that she was absolutely excited about. And she was so excited about it, and her parents were like, "We can't afford it." And it was $5. I was really disappointed. They had the $600 VIP Arnold Schwarzenegger lanyards, but they couldn't afford my $5 fucking book. But this girl was really distraught. And so as they were walking away, I said to the girl, "Hey, do you actually really like this? Like, is this something you really want?" And her mom gave me the stare of death. Like, what are you doing to my kid?
Right.
And the girl said, yes, I really do. And I said, come on over. I signed the book. I gave it to her. And I said, but you only get it for free if you do two things for me. She said, okay, what's that? I said, one, I would love to take a picture with you holding the book. She said, yes, I would love that. And the other is keep reading comics. She said, yes, sir, absolutely. And so I just gave her the book. Man, it's, every once in a while we got to understand getting the book in the hand, that's sometimes more important than making the money, because it becomes money down the road. But also it's about fostering the community, fostering the love of what we like. I've had, I remember being in Florida, and these steampunk people walked by, and I was like, hey, do you guys like comics? And they're like, no, we don't. And I said, what if I said that I could find you a killer steampunk comic and that I think you would love it? And they were like, yeah, okay. So I took them, walked away from my booth, walked over to a friend's booth. They're in the full fucking steampunk regalia. If you guys know the Heirs of a Silver, Matt and Steph, brought it right to them, and I said, sell them. And they sold them like 6 books right there. So, sometimes it's just about fostering love for what we do and paying it forward.
It's very true. I mean, and paying it forward is a big thing, because it's not something that you do on your own and it's over and done with. It's something that can keep going. You can actually, I've said this on many of my shows about throwing a pebble out there and getting the ripples going, in the water. And if you can keep that going and get it going in the right direction, those ripples will eventually, hit the bank on the other side. I'm hoping they'll actually negate the negativity that's out there a lot. I mean, if we'll just throw enough pebbles out there, we can get enough positivity going. It is what I'm trying to shoot for in all this. Now, speaking of positivity and throwing some pebbles out there, I'm going to do a second giveaway, because, we're about an hour away from going ahead and finishing up. So I got a couple more giveaways here. So the second giveaway, make it really, it's going to be kind of simple. Russell and Mark cannot participate because you've already gotten yours. So here's what we're going to do on this one is I need to know, Chuck has got a book that's got a demon. What is the name of that book?
Don't we all?
Pretty much. Now that I think about it.
Not me. I don't have one yet, but
Jimmy,
I'm going to write one down.
Because I was thinking Lewis, but Lewis is in the audience. Yeah, you don't. He's writing one now. Great.
Totally Rad Demons.
Totally Rad Demons.
It'll be on Kickstarter next month.
He has the script. He'll have the script in about 10 minutes.
Yep. God damn it.
Steph will do the cover for it. He's got
He'll
time.
launch the Kickstarter next week, and there'll be 62 covers.
Yeah. Can you believe I have over by the end of this campaign, I'll have over 60 covers to choose from for my books on that Kickstarter.
So again, for everybody out there, what is the name of Chuck's book that has the demon in there?
I know.
You can't go.
Damn it. Wait, what's the prize?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's the Justin Hunt one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Technically, that's not a demon. It's Mary Magdalene in hell, but she's not a demon.
Yeah.
Oh, splitting hairs now.
Yes.
I see flames in the throne. I'm going with demons. Look, Chuck's checking to see the answer. He's not
I'm trying to find the answer. Well, what book did I
He's
write?
like, wait, what book is that?
Lewis
Did I
has the
write
answer,
that?
doesn't he? Doesn't Lewis have the answer?
Chuck's cheating.
Lewis has the answer, yes. I guess I got a lag here because I just saw it.
There it is.
So Lewis got it. Belial.
Oh, you're trying to copy. I got you.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if you have not read Belial, Get yourself a copy. Do yourself a favor. It is amazing.
Thank you, buddy.
It is definitely worth that. But let me go ahead and put this in here. All right, so Lewis is on the board now too, which means you can't go for any more of the giveaways, but you are still eligible for the grand prize. I haven't decided if Russell's available for the grand prize or not. Depends on how good he is tonight.
I say no.
Are we going to vote via panel? Because that could.
Yeah, everyone, do the thumbs up or the thumbs down.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
So, Lewis, thank you very much. And yes, you'll be getting that. So I know you'll message me. I think you've already messaged me right whenever this thing started anyway. So I will get with you and get your information afterwards. So moving along with this, let me go ahead and ask, how difficult is it to change or adapt to the fans' needs and requests?
I don't. Honestly, I don't. I mean, that's not completely true. I mean, sometimes we talk about especially if we're doing Kickstarters and stuff, and I've got a bunch of different titles, I kind of listen to the chatter, like, hey, is Oz coming back? Is Ursa coming back? I kind of listen to that chatter. But for the most part, as creators, we just need to do what flows from the creation process. And if for me, if that's penny for your soul, then you guys are getting penny for your soul for the next 6 months. If it's critter, you're getting critter for the next 6 months. I think there's a fine line between letting the fans, quote unquote, tell you what they want versus just doing what you do, which they clearly are already, hopefully, enjoying anyway. So if you're out there going, hey, penny for your soul is coming next month, if you're doing your job right, they should all just be excited that it's happening.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yes, I think what I'm trying to get at is whenever if they have a voice in what they want to do, like you have the Patreon that we're on, and we can actually vote towards some things on there. It's not saying I want you to change and do nothing but Star Wars related characters right now, because that's the only thing we're going to read from you, because that's never going to happen. Now, if it was Godzilla, I'm sure that would be an easy switch for you. But here goes Steph. He's already, look at him. He's already got the wheels turning. But it's just saying, if you're given a different perspective on something, how easy is it to go ahead and look at that? I'm not saying to actually make a definite change on there, but to look at it and react to that.
I still wouldn't. I get that all the time. Hey, I hope something happens. I hope this character, I hope, whatever. Let's see if you're right. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I have my story. My story is what it is. They don't know what it is. And I can't sit there and rehash like, hey, well, I'm going to do it this way. And then the person would be like, well, what if you did it that way? It's like, no. That's you're talking about the camel is the horse made by committee, and you're just getting all kinds of lumps laid on top of it. It's got to be pure. It's got to be your thing. Now, if you have editors or close friends that are involved in the process, you can certainly I'd be like, hey, dude, what do you think about if I do this and that, other thing? But to just take it to the public and be like, I don't know what Critter's going to be. What do you guys want it to be? No. You gotta let it be what your vision is, for better or worse, and then let the fans kind of decide if they like it or not. That's where I'm coming from on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes. Steph, what about you?
Well, the bizarre thing is selling sketch art for me for over 6 years, and basically drawing something, and it either sold right away or it didn't sell right away. It literally, I said this in an interview once, it literally created my style. In other words, I started drawing realism. That's how I started. And a lot of people reach out to me and go, oh, hey, how do I draw in your style? Well, first you start with realism, and then you let it change drastically over time. And what happened was certain things would sell. Certain ways that I drew or styles that I drew into or changed into would sell faster, and I would draw more of that. And then the other part of it was, the more I sold, of sketches, and there was a point where I sold something like 500 and something sketches in a single year. So you can imagine, since it wasn't my primary job, how every available moment was spent sketching. It also meant that I picked up a speed element, and the speed element is what shaped my style. So my fans I never let my fans tell me what to draw. Like, I'll have people say, hey, can you do a commission of this? And I'm like, that's completely not my style. I can do it, but it's not worth my effort because there are other people who can do it that way better. And yet, in a weird way, over years of time, my fans literally created the way I draw, because their input was based on what they bought and what they reacted to and what they loved. And as over time, my style was very different. My style was created by them buying things. So I was taking feedback from them, from the sales, without even realizing it. And I looked back at stuff I drew 6 years or 7 years ago, and I do know that the reason I'm doing what I'm doing now is so different from that is because of people like Tom Andrus, who's on the show right now, who bought my stuff for the last 6 years and bought it for a particular reason that developed my style. But like to Tom's point, if somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, you should do this in a particular style, I literally have sent people to like Ruben or something and said, this is somebody who can do what you're looking for the way you want it. I'm not going to change the way I draw for you because I don't think I'm doing you justice by doing that. So it's the same thing with like Tom. He could change his story, but then he's not doing justice to his fans by creating the story that he was intending to do. So the pictures I draw are done a certain way. And if you're asking for something that's outside the realm, yeah, I can do that if it's a little bit. But if it's really outside the realm, there's somebody better for you to satisfy that particular sketch that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Russell has something to say about that, though. Yeah, the fans push him to draw the way that he does. Coincidence that he draws a giant worm after my male figure commission? I think not.
Okay, what he's talking about is Jim's Rax cover.
Oh.
And the reason he's talking about the background on the Rax cover, because even Tom Hudson makes fun of me about backgrounds. He's had to work on my background style. The Rax cover that I did, the background, if you see the background on it, it's kind of like the Shahrazad background. Yeah, it's over the top. But it was based on Oscar Martin's solo book. If you guys know the artist Oscar Martin, he did a graphic novel solo, which just reminded me so much of the old heavy metal books, the heavy metal art books. So the background on Rax is like that. I drew it. We saved the pencils. Kerry colored with the pencils rather than do any inks to it to create that fading heavy metal-esque background. I love it. I love that style of art. So, so that's what Russell's referring to, the worm. It's a big space worm. I don't know.
I love it.
And Thomas said, Steph gets Russell like so few of us do.
I'm sorry, I do, but I do. I get Russell. I get Russell. We all have a little Russell in us. We're just embarrassed sometimes to admit it.
There's a sex joke in there that I'm just not willing to touch.
I thought the same thing, Chuck. I thought the same thing.
Right?
Yeah, this is not unscripted. It's not quite that show.
Hey!
I look at your guest, and you're wrong.
And Phil, going to your question about the fans, saying, hey, how about your characters doing this and that? Being an adult comic book maker, you get some weird requests for things that they expect your character to do in those books. And I can tell you right now, as soon as people hear adult, they just think my character's just fucking and sucking on every page, which isn't the case on some of my
other page.
Yeah. You got to have a break in between.
Like I got thrown off the other day. Someone was like, how many gangbang scenes are in your book? I'm just like, what? It's just like, there's actual stories to my book. There's a meaningful message, and especially the Totally Rad Life of Violet has a very important message that I like to put out there. And people just think like, yeah, adult books, just dicks. And it's like, no, it's not just dicks.
There's
big
boobs too.
Dicks. Yeah, there's boobs.
Come on.
But yeah, so yeah, it's hard to like. It's even worse when someone like makes a suggestion and then you're like, well, I actually thought of that before, but now it sounds like it's coming from them. And then when they see it, they might think, oh, you listened to my idea. And it's like, no, I already had that plan for this.
Yeah, you were saying that the other day, right, Tom? You don't want to hear somebody else's story because God forbid yours is anywhere close to it. Then they're going to start screaming that you stole it. Yeah.
Yep. Keep it to yourself, buddy.
I worry about that with drawings too. Like when I'm doing sketches, like, good God, has somebody else drawn this already? And luckily my style is a little bit different enough but I'm always worried about that. Like, did somebody else do this pose or did somebody else do this idea on a sketch? And I'm going to get like, yanked for copying off of what they did. So yeah, you always got that fear.
I'm going to give artists a real quick hint right here about what Steph just talked about with doing the same poses and so on. Every pose has been done.
Yeah.
Okay? Right. Every pose. So here's the trick. Turn the camera. Take that same pose, move the camera, look at it up, look at it down, look at it sideways, turn it around, and you get the same pose, but a completely different perspective will change the pose.
Right.
That is absolutely true. Alfred and Kara, what about y'all?
What was the question?
So how difficult is it to change or adapt to the fans' needs or requests?
Well, cosplay is very, very different because it's just such a huge gamut of so many different things, switching from spandex to armor to, bikinis. And
You're going back to the freezer.
I just look at me all weird. I try to take into consideration what people want, but I'm, at the end of the day, I'm still going to do what I want.
Just say like, I do what I want.
I do what I want, because I want to accommodate that, but it's also a matter of, people will be like, oh, I got this idea and, I want it to be, they'll like go off on this huge extravagant thing that was like a $1,500 cosplay and they want it in a week and they have no money.
Yeah, everyone please don't notice Jim back in the fucking freezer.
Right. We noticed.
So yeah, that's kind of what I find difficult, but I do the best I can. Alfred?
I mean, I guess with art, it's just a little bit different. The whole being able to kind of like whip out whatever.
Just whip out whatever. Anytime you want, go for it.
Kind of gives you the freedom to be like, what if a fan has an idea and it's something like outrageous, like, you can still do it. It's a little bit harder with cosplay. So
yeah, it is. But like, there's so much. People just think of cosplay as being online, and I see a lot of it. I know I've seen some cosplayers with these incredible amounts of likes, but they have a day job at Starbucks or wherever, and they're not actually surviving off of their cosplay. Some do, but a lot of times they've resorted to they've resorted to the nudie stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a matter of how much, where you want to go. Like me, I've gone a little more into merchandising and to different areas that people haven't really thought of before. So I think it's just about thinking outside of the box while trying to anticipate what your fans want. A lot of times I find that the fans, and I mean, you guys can follow me on this one too, but they don't know what they want until you show them. Like, you could be like, oh, I'm open for commissions, and no one will say anything. And then you'll post something that someone else bought, and they're like, I want to buy that. And it's like, but you can buy whatever you want, and then radio silence, nothing.
Yep. Totally agree.
Well, and I think the main thing that you really listen to fans with is that they really want to have cosplay in comic books. And so I think that, having the joining that we've done this year with the two has really given fans like something to really get excited about. And so I think that's really cool. That I'm amazed that a lot of other people are not.
Well, it's because going digital is easy. It's easy to just post online. It's easy to send out a digital photo set as opposed to something tangible that you can hold in your hand. And that goes with comics too. For all you guys, people can buy a $2 digital. They want to hold it. They want to grade it. They want to feel it.
Right,
What was it
it's
Stanley said about booth
collectible.
comics? You know, you want to hold that in your hand. And it's the same thing, I think, with cosplay.
And that makes complete sense with that, because that is something that I could definitely see, like on the cosplay aspect, on how you have to kind of adapt, and you have to show them what they're wanting and then adapt from there, because they don't have enough that they can just go do this. I want you to try something different. Now they can probably give you something quite extravagant to the point where you're like, no, that's not going to happen. But they're, you know, for the basic things, they're a lot like, you know, they just don't have the right ideas because they don't think outside of the box. And I will go ahead and I'm going to kind of point Tom out on this one real quick, because he does like to go ahead and put a lot of posts out there about think outside of the box. Quit drawing Batman. Quit drawing Wonder Woman. Quit drawing Captain America.
Let's be clear. Don't quit. That's
No,
not
not
what
quit.
I'm saying, because
Yes.
I understand that pays the bills. I get it. You got to draw Batman and Wonder Woman and so on. What I'm saying is that draw Batman and then draw something of your own.
Right.
And then draw Wonder Woman and then draw something of your own and mix it up so that as you're presenting stuff, people are like, oh, hey, cool, that's a good Batman. I'm going to follow him and watch what he does. And then your next post is, poof, here's Critter, man. This is my own thing. I'm going to make my own thing out of it. And they're like, oh, crap, that's cool, too. And suddenly the perception of the artist is no longer that they are a Batman artist. They are a creator, and they're making their own thing. That's the important part. And maybe my message was skewed, but that's my point. Don't give it up. I mean, I get it, man. But if all you're doing is drawing Batman for the rest of your life, you're missing out on the ability to make a toy that has a $2 million Kickstarter fund. Right. Congratulations, Todd McFarlane. Right. You're not elevating yourself by just drawing Batman every day.
And it does. And I apologize. I wasn't saying it correctly on that.
No. And I just wanted to make sure that my message was clear, because I did have some people kind of snap back at me, and I'm like, what's going on here? This makes sense in my head. But that's the message, is don't stop. Draw that Wonder Woman, put that thong on her, but then draw something of your own and present it as, hey, I'm a creator of something, not just, you know, a fan artist or whatever. Like Alfred and Kara, they've got Fire Bitch now. Yeah, he still draws Batman and Wonder Woman, but now it's like, hey, plus Fire Bitch.
Yeah.
You actually, Tom, I remember doing a store event, and we were talking, and I was drawing Spider-Man, and you're like, yeah, you know, you guys should think about doing your own thing. And so, like, that really kind of stuck with me, and yeah, you know, here we are, and like, yeah, I appreciate that.
It's what I do. It's how I give back.
You know, Phil, like to what Tom was saying, and even what Kara was saying about sometimes the fans don't know what they want. Here's the thing. You guys know I'm notorious for, I'll draw Princess Leia, but it's not going to be in the white dress, and it's not going to be a Star Wars scene. She's going to be, like this week, in the shower, and R2-D2's trying to get in the shower with her. It's stupid. It's funny. It's a cute new way of looking at Princess Leia, and that's why it sells, because it's not the same thing over and over. And like to Tom's point, if you're just drawing Batman, all you're ever going to sell is Batman, and you're only going to sell it to people who already have lots of Batman. The reason somebody buys my Princess Leia in the shower is because they've got a million Princess Leia pictures out there to choose from that look like a movie scene. How many of them have her in the shower with R2-D2 trying to get in there to take a shower with a shower cap on?
Not enough.
Right? It's original. And that's the thing. You've got to be able to do things a little differently than everybody else. And it's fine if drawing regular Princess Leia makes you money. But if you don't draw Princess Leia in a different way, nobody's ever going to see your work as different from all the other people who are drawing her.
Right. Then they're just looking at Princess Leia. Oh, I'm going to buy another Princess Leia. It almost becomes not important who did it. Whereas if you have a specific style, it's suddenly, oh, that's a J. Scott Campbell Princess Leia. Oh, that's a Jim Lee Princess Leia. Oh, that's a Steph Wilson Princess Leia. There's a difference. And so that's another thing. That's another part of art is do it your way. Find your way. Design your own damn Batman costume. Let people see that you've got a mentality that you can change the costume and be like, hey, this is if I drew for DC Comics, I'd draw Batman this way. and suddenly you've become unique among everybody else that's doing the same thing.
Now, I will say, Steph, that sounds like probably one of your darkest covers that you've done, because isn't that like a toaster in the bathtub scenario?
Which one? Oh no, R2 gets. Look at R2 in on Dagobah. R2 can get wet.
Yeah, he fell in the damn lagoon, so
he
he's
does,
fine.
and he didn't cause any shocks.
Like you're like, actually,
he must be insulated or something, because he didn't cause any electrical voltage. I thought of that.
He can work underwater, just the midget inside him can't work underwater.
Plus, I did give him a shower cap for safety. So
yeah, you gotta
little person, the little person.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, little people. Oh, jeez.
R.I.P. Kenny Baker. Jeez, man.
Chuck, what about you on the question?
See, I gave him a shower cap. He's got a shower cap on. He's safe. But that's the thing. This isn't your typical Leia picture. You're not going to find this anywhere else. And that's like to Tom's point. You can draw Batman, but then turn around and draw something that nobody's seen before, whatever it is, because that's the standout thing that'll get you noticed. Not drawing Batman over and over again. You know, maybe one day you'll be a stock illustrator for DC. Great. But in the meantime, make your stamp. Do something different. Get recognized for what you do. And you guys know it who create books. Like, you could create the same books that are already out there, or do you create a totally new way to tell the story that you get acknowledged for?
Yeah, it's like when CB Zane on the Artist Alley Shopping Network, when he drew the robot unicorn. Yeah, he drew some other girls on there too, but everybody was like, dude, remember that robot unicorn? It's ridiculous, but the weird things stand out.
Yes.
And it does. I mean, I completely agree on that, because that's one thing about your stuff, Steph, I will say right now, is that the main picture that's on there is great. It's those side characters that we all look forward to, because we want to see how you're going to incorporate whatever, because you never see it coming.
Right. And that's the part to me that's fun, because, you know, again, it's Princess Leia. And I literally, you know, I was talking the other day about drawing something that looks like the Pantsless Pizza. Drawing a fake advertisement is fun to me, because I literally drew Wonder Woman so many times. I was like desperate for a new way to draw her. And so that's when I started drawing the funny side characters. You know, Leia in the shower is cute, but R2 coming up with a shower brush kind of makes it like he's trying to get in. That's the fun part. And so that's the part that I enjoy doing, you know, is that little fun element.
Yeah. And Chuck, what's your answer to the question, buddy?
So I guess the problem is, and I love how everyone had their own takes because of their jobs in the industry. The issue for me is, as an editor, I'm constantly shooting other people's suggestions and ideas. So if someone comes down and gives me a suggestion, I feel like just via karma, I have to shut up and listen to it. So it doesn't mean I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to be like, yeah, I got my own stuff going on. I'll just be like, well, I kind of have to do this because I've done it to so many others that, yeah, I'll listen. But I don't know. Like Tom said, I've got the ideas of where I want to go. If they really have an in-depth, interesting idea that I think I could play with, I might. But for the most part, I know what I'm doing.
And that sounds like a great thing, because with the editing, that does have to be something where you have to be a little more adaptable with, because you're actually either making changes to help it along, or you're going ahead and, you know, put your stamp of approval on what they've got, depending upon how fluid it actually is. So
well, and for me, like as a publisher, I've listened to other writers pitch me like, hey, I'd like to do something within your Oz book, and this is what I'd like to do. That is certainly something that I listen to, and I've hired other writers to write the stuff that they've talked about. But from a fan standpoint, you kind of have to just do what you do and let them enjoy the ride.
And it, for the most part, I mean, it works as long as there's communication in there and you make sure it's going to work with the foundation of what you've already got going. So now we've got 2 more giveaways. So I'm going to go ahead and give another one away here. This time I'm actually going to choose Steph. I'm going to go ahead and put you on the spot on this one. I'm going to go ahead and come up with either a question or a task or something like that you want the audience to do so that they can win one of these giveaways. Russell, Mark, and Lewis cannot win this one. They've already, all 3 of them have already won one.
First person to go to your website and buy original art wins, right?
Yeah, right? Hey, that works. Damn. Damn, that guy's good. That was good. No, I've got an easy one. This is for anybody who's watching the show. All right? It's a nice, easy one because we like giving away prizes. We don't want anybody to kill us. And this is about where you're paying attention to the show. How many times has Jim Noble been in the freezer? Not a hard number, but that means you're paying attention.
Well, hell, I lost count. Oh boy.
It's an easier question.
It hasn't been as many times as you think.
That's
the
an easier question to ask.
I think Scott just got it.
He spent out here besides being in the freezer.
Who got it, Scott?
I think Scott just got it.
Kreutzer?
I haven't seen anything come across here yet.
Is that
I don't know why I got a lag.
How am I ahead of you?
I don't know.
Living in the future again.
It's Phil's show.
We got storms in the area. I know that. So
you're right. Storms. There's no storms.
And actually,
60 miles north of him, there's no storms in Jersey.
Yeah, that makes a difference here. It looks like Thomas came in before Scott did.
What did he say?
Oh, I do see Thomas. Yeah, Thomas was ahead. Yes.
Yeah, 2.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah.
All right.
It seemed like more, but it wasn't. It really wasn't.
My arms are cold.
The real question
I was going to say.
There should be a second part to this. How many times was he made fun of?
Many more times. There's no
each.
track of that.
2 each times 5 is 10.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy.
Did you get a beer out of the fridge the first time?
Yes, I did.
Ah,
He's
lucky man.
drinking it directly out of in the freezer.
You should do the whole show from there, man.
I was like, well, since I'm here, I guess I'll grab a beer.
Yeah, why not? I saw you opening the fridge. I'm like, what is he checking for leftovers in the middle of the show?
Yeah.
And then you pulled the beer out, and I was like, smart move, smart move.
So Thomas, you won that one. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Woo, I win.
Message me, and we'll make sure and get that to you.
Way to go, Tom.
How about
Now that was Thomas, not Tom. Tom did not win. He's getting excited up there.
Wait, what did he win? What did he win? I missed out.
So it's another prize package similar to that. I just mixed up different cards, different stickers, different things in there. One comes with a Lady Death one comes with a Lily the Demoness, one comes with a Naughty Fairy. There's 2 other ones that were in there too. So yeah, there are different ones that I kind of mixed in along with all the other stuff.
That's cool.
The grand prize is going to be interesting. We're going to go into that one here shortly. Actually, I can go ahead and bring that up real quick as we speak so we can kind of talk about that. The grand prize is actually going to be a mixture of the things we've already gone through on here. I also have a copy of Carnal Confessions #1 in there, which is an exclusive cover that's brand new in there. I have another book that is inside there. Actually got it right here. It's not the stuff that's here as much. There's a lot of stuff that didn't show up that I'm waiting for it to, that they'll be doing direct ship to you. But there are some other things as well. So we've got Carnal Confessions. Don't know if you can see that okay. #1 from Source.
Nice. Yeah.
And then we have got Blue Coat Missionary from Sub-Zero Mission.
Wow.
Which is huge because this is one of those things that can help save the homeless vets that are in that area. And then, of course, I had to throw in a Baby Yoda sketch on there as well from my personal collection. And everyone that wins is going to get the sketch of me that was drawn by Christy Shin. But whoever wins the grand prize is going to win the Demon Thick, which is me as a female, which was drawn by Christy Shin. Thank you very much.
Well, that's rare. In fact, that's someplace I wouldn't have gone.
That's someplace I didn't realize that Christy Shin was going to go, but it had something to do with Russell.
Gotta have limits, man.
Yeah.
Well, it had something to do with Russell. We'll leave it at that.
Right. Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Freaked out to turn on.
But wait, there's more.
Oh.
I put together a prize package for this. I put together a prize package, and I have some amazing friends in this industry and colleagues and they stepped it up on this one. So, David Fott, are you still in here? I think you are. If you are, if you can sound off and let me know. While I'm waiting for him, Justin Hunt is doing a prize in here. He is actually going to do a full cover sketch of your choice.
Wow.
Of your choice. Tom, what are you showing up there?
That's Justin Hunt art.
Cover.
Okay, that's Justin Hunt art. Yeah.
There's David. There's David Fott.
And there's David Fott. Yeah.
Woo!
So David Fott is going to do $100 sketch of your choice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Now,
And
does it
I'm
come with
really
$100?
Do what?
Does it come with $100?
No, does not come with $100. No.
Okay.
So David, thank you very much, because I know you're in here. Justin could not be here. He was actually in the process of recording a video, which I will be posting on my wall whenever he sends it to me, because he wanted to do a full video showing exactly what he's offering on this, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me see. We've also got someone else on here. Actually, I've got it right back here. Give me just a second. Let me go behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Showing off the non-magic here. I thought I had it around here, but I did not. So this one is from Tony Kuros. I had him on as a guest. We discussed quite a few things. I asked him if he would be interested in possibly donating something. I thought he would do like a small sketch or something. He went a little bit higher than that. He actually went... Jim, you're not eligible. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Wow.
So there is
Well, damn.
the original, and he went ahead and threw in the new one as well. There are two sketches here. I mean, two prints. So these are part of it as well.
That's
This is a
cool.
huge prize package that I am more than happy to have.
What? That's sick. Oh, that's awesome.
So you're going to have to work for this last one. There will be a task involved in that, which I will be delegating out for that. Tom does have one last giveaway that he was going to do, just to go ahead and make it 5. Which one was that one?
And everybody's
already
doing
won it.
crazy shit, so I'm going to upgrade it. We're going to do a set of all 5 goth covers.
Oh, man.
And Phil, I already won it. I checked. I checked the results.
Damn.
Let me go ahead and throw my name in on this one real quick. Hang on, I'm
No.
joking. No, I'm not.
So you're going to get
Wow.
all 5.
Oh,
Wow.
that one's cool. That one right there. That's a good one.
Yeah, what do I got to do to get the grand prize?
Get one of your friends to tune into YouTube right now, and you can feed him the answer. I'm trying to think right now. Who do I know who can get on YouTube in 2 seconds?
Well, who do I know that hasn't won?
Right.
Now, Tom, I'm going to leave this one to you since it's your prize package. If you want to go ahead and come up with whatever you want for question, task, whatever, for your last one there.
Yeah, this is easy. We're going to just take Steph's way of doing it to see if you've been paying attention to the show. And all you got to do is tell me, how many times have I appeared on this show with Phil?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, nice.
Right from the start of the show, too.
Simple as that. How many times have I been on the show?
This is an award for somebody who sat through the whole show.
Now, remember, Mark, Lewis, Thomas, and Russell not eligible on this one. Has to be somebody else on this one.
Scott has got it. And I know I'm
Right.
living in the future, but Scott
Oh, yeah,
has got
there
it.
we go.
Is
Yeah,
that
Scott.
Kreutzer? Scott Kreutzer?
Yep.
Scott, how are
Yes.
you, man? He's been stalking me all week.
5 times. 5 times.
Way to
5
go,
times.
Scott.
Scott,
Well, you're in the so Tom, you're in the 5 Timers Club.
Correct.
Did you get your own jacket and everything?
I got a belt and the whole deal, man.
Phil, I need to start making some appearances. I want to be in the 5 Timers Club.
Now, technically, you have more appearances on Unscripted than anybody else, so you're still holding that title.
Yeah.
But Tom's planning on being on there as well, so you never know. He may surpass you if you keep
Yeah.
it up.
Better not miss a show, man.
Especially if my phone melts.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you're on 6 times, you get a jacket. There's a demon filled jacket you get. It's like a black satin thing, kind of sharp.
Yeah. Scott, congratulations. You got that one. You will be getting in touch with Tom on that one. He'll send that to you. I do ask that everyone who is getting prize packages, everyone that's getting prize packages, if you will, please do unboxings whenever you get them, and then go ahead and tag us so that we can go ahead and see that whenever you do that, because we'd like to be able to see that and kind of share that out with the rest of the community as well, and hopefully get some more people involved in this next time.
Yeah,
So,
Scott, I'll throw these books in with all your Doghouse books from Wednesday. No problem. We'll just put it all together for you.
It's kind of cool because Scott's a bit of a super fan, so that's really cool that he got it. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So,
well, he actually, let me pull this book back out. He actually has this tattooed on him.
Oh,
what?
Really?
Yeah. Tattooed?
Picture too.
Oh man. Hey, wow, that's freaking awesome.
that's the new Ursa cover, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all well and fine until he decides he likes Wizard of Dorothee better, and then he's got to change his tattoo. So
he's got more than one arm, dude.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Are you sure? Did you count?
He could have 1. He could have 2. He could have 3.
You just have to have you just work on the beady eye sleeve. That's all. You just put it all, the whole arm.
Wait till he gets the critter butt tattoo, then you won't be happy. Tramp stamp.
You let the
tramp stamp.
You got to let the fans do what they do, man.
That's true.
How cool is that, Tom, to see your creations tattooed on someone's body?
It's crazy, and I've seen it like 8 times now. It's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. Now
I'm waiting for a totally rad tattoo to come about one of these days.
It'll be there.
The appeal of just like sailors would love your work, your style of work for tattoos.
Yeah, if only Jim knew some sailers.
Yeah, right. If he knew some, right? If he had any connections.
Oh yeah, I know a bunch of submariners, but oh boy, yeah.
Talk about the seamen that you know.
Oh boy.
I know more seamen than sea women. You know what's really
this is how you get blocked on YouTube.
What's really funny is, I was on submarines in the Navy, but I kind of like when they write history books about it, 50 years from now, when they say, they integrated women on submarines, I was actually on one of the first subs to have women on it. However, out of the 150 dudes, there was only 3 women, and some of those women were a lot manlier than the 150 dudes that were on there.
Now let me
including myself.
So let me ask you this. It's a 2-part question on this one, and this will pretty much finish it up, and then we'll go into the final Jeopardy, as we'll say on that one. So what are the projects that you currently have coming up or that you're working on, and where do you see yourselves in 5 years?
Ooh.
Kara and Alfred, you're up first.
I can't believe there was going to be a quiz.
I see myself looking up at the world from my grave.
Oh,
so tired. Like, come on, go with me, right? Like, when was the last time you slept?
Right.
Sleeping.
This is like Edgar Allan Cara going on right here.
Yes. It's so much work, and you get to that point, it's crazy, where you're like, you need to hire help.
Right.
And
It's true.
and you don't think, you think that you're just a small little guy, and you're like, I got my comic books and I'm putting them out, and now you're like, I don't have any room. I need a warehouse, and you get one. So I'm thinking that
You get one.
You get one, and I'd like in 5 years to actually have another building, like a dedicated, separate building, whether it be on my property or real estate. And I hope to have plenty more books out, and live the dream. Get my book out everywhere. Alfred can be there too, I guess.
Oh, thank you.
I want to have him as my pool boy. That's the Mexican people. Yeah, he's really here because he's pretty.
It's true. That is my appeal. But yeah, we have a lot of projects coming up. Obviously, she's still working on the Confessions of a Cosplay Diva, currently on Indiegogo.
It's almost done.
If anybody's got the link, that's cool. And yeah, that and we got Fire Bitch 2 coming out this summer, late this summer. We got a lot of plans for that. So there is that. And yeah, 5 years. I don't know. Ask me about 5 months.
Confessions of a Cosplay Diva Volume 5, and it'll have all these conversations in it, so feel free to spill it.
I know. Right?
Tom, what about you?
Well, the most current thing, there's two things that are happening really closely right now. First is the 10-year anniversary of Critter behind me here. So we're going to be doing a hardcover anniversary edition coming up in July on Kickstarter. So we're really excited about that. It'll be our first ever hardcover book. We'll be remastering the book, getting all the edits right and everything. Because when I started Critter 10 years ago, man, I had no editor. So I'm letting my current editor run through the old scripts and clean it up. And so we'll have a nice, fresh presentation for it. And then in September, the spinoff from Critter, the Goth Critter, Catnip, that will be part of our what we are calling ClickCon on Kickstarter, which will be a group effort Kickstarter with myself, CB Zane, and Wendy Shaner for a big 64-page, essentially an anthology. We're each going to have our own character, but it will be a full-size story for each one, 20 pages for each character. So you're getting 3 full-size stories in one big 64-page book. And that's what we're going to be doing in September. And then in 5 years, the 15th anniversary of Big Dog Inc. Will also be the 10-year anniversary for Scheherazade. So I am sure we will have lots of anniversary goodies for that as well.
Does that mean we might have some covers done by some of the, who do we know as well-known cover artists that we could possibly get a hold of to do that?
I don't know. I don't know any artists.
I know one, but he's a hack.
Now, what about you, Steph? Same question.
Coming up, currently I have Totally Rad Comics, covers for Jim, covers for Rax on Totally Rad Comics, and that's on Kickstarter. Scorpiana covers on Kickstarter, the Bomber covers, which are really cool. Coming up, I've got Lily the Demoness, a cover on that. Wendy's Kickstarter, June 24th. A couple covers on there. You'll see the first debuts. I know I did one with Tad, but it hasn't been published yet. You'll see the first debuts of metalled and jeweled covers of mine. So that's really exciting. That's the immediate future because I've got other books with Jim coming up and other books coming out. Titles that I was so excited to get onto that just took forever to produce, like Sisterhood, Sister Mercy, Catnip coming up for ClickCon. So, and there's some titles out there that, like Sisterhood or whatever, working with Richard Boom, that were just a dream of mine, just something to do. 5 years from now, I'd definitely like to be past an art book stage where we've been putting it together. And I'm not talking about a rehash. I'm talking about sitting down and creating, say, 20 or 30 new pages of art so that somebody can buy a book of new art. I mean, an anthology is great for your back stuff when you're an artist after you've got a ton of stuff out there. But I would like to create a book for fans of just where they could just have my artwork. So that I would like to be within the 5-year mark, definitely. And like Kara was saying, part of it is time. Finding the time to have a personal life once again, maybe 5 years from now, where the shipping and stuff like that I have to do on a weekly basis and stuff, where a lot of that can be more compartmentalized in a better way, perhaps some sort of help, so that I can focus on doing art and enjoying my life. That's my 5-year goal, is to be able to enjoy my life while doing this. Right now, it seems like this is, out of necessity, taking over 90% of my life. So,
which does make sense because we do see Steph work on a lot of things, and then all of a sudden a new project comes up, and all of a sudden there's Steph And then there's a project coming up a week later, and there's Steph. And I'm like, holy crap, how is he replicating himself this fast?
And you gotta ride the wave. I know it's taken a lot of time out of the rest of my life, but you gotta ride the wave and hustle it while it's there. There's no sense hustling on a dry beach. I mean, when that wave comes in, take it, get it for everything it's worth, and build the relationships now that are gonna pay off later. It's just at some point I would like to reclaim my personal life and go back to Paris without thinking about comics for a week.
Now, Jim, within 5 years, are you planning on getting a new phone or a new freezer, maybe, hopefully?
Hey. So, what was the question again?
What are you doing now, and what are you doing 5 years from now?
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm doing a lot right now. I got my current Kickstarter, Totally Rad Life of Violet #3/Rax #1. That's going on right now. It's going on for another 26 days. And then I also have the Roxy Feelgood Summer Special, which is available for pre-order right now on totallyradcomics.com/bigcartel. That releases in July. It actually releases the day after my Kickstarter ends for Violet. And then in August, I have the Totally Rad Adventures of Zira, which is about a sexy cave woman that's coming out in August. That's going to be also on my web store only. It won't be crowdfunded. In October, I have another Kickstarter coming out. That's going to be the Roxy Feelgood #1 and the Neon, the Next Victim, my 80s slasher #1, created and written by Giovanni Barunda. And 5 years from now, man, I'm telling you, I'll be on the totally rad island somewhere out in the Philippines with my 5 wives and my 20 sons, just living it up on that island after doing all the Totally Rad books for the last 5 years.
Chuck, what about you?
Oh, wow. Awful lot of books that I'm editing. Awful lot of cool stuff coming out. For writing, before the end of the year, I believe we're going to see another Belial. We're going to see another Welcome to the Void. We're going to, I have a lot of short stories that I'm doing. Actually, I have a short story in Travis Gibbs' the hell is it? Cthulhu Invades Oz, which I think is going to be just a killer book. It's filled with so many amazing creators. I think that thing is just going to blow the gates off of things come October. I think that's going to be a big one to watch out for. I have a short that I haven't been able to talk about yet that's coming out through a major publisher that I'm pretty excited about. And yeah, man, a lot of what I'm working on right now is hush hush, but it's all very exciting steps. And I guess that takes me into my 5 years. In my 5 years, I'm hoping that all of this is more than paying for itself, and I'm living a nice, comfortable life doing what I love. And my wife can start thinking about, hey, maybe I don't need to work as much. So that's my aim for the next 5 years.
Very cool. I mean, I know I've kind of skipped over me on some of the questions on this one. I'm going to actually kind of do this one as well. As far as projects, working with some of y'all on some things, and hoping to be doing that as well over the next 5 years and longer if necessary, if possible. And doing this is what I've learned, that I actually, whenever you do something you love and it becomes your work, then there's nothing you want to do more than that. And that is where I am right now. So I'm doing everything in my power to try to keep this as being my normal, which there's some hiccups in the road that I'm working on. There's gonna be a lot of information about that over the next week, I can assure you. But I'm doing what I can to go ahead and change some things up, because it was recently brought to my attention that you can either go with what life gives you, or you can go ahead and change what life gives you. I choose the latter. I choose to go ahead and make my own changes, make my own beginnings, make my own, way I'm going to do this and adapt to it that way. And that's the way that I plan on going through this. There's a lot of things that are going on that are going to make a lot of changes with me. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means there is change involved. So that's one thing about bringing everybody in here, was actually to kind of help me through this as well, because I do have a lot of changes coming up, and every one of y'all have a tremendous amount of respect for all of y'all. Even you, Jim. I mean, I'm going to throw it out there.
Well, especially those of us on the top row, right?
Oh.
Hey, don't make me come up there.
So now, that being said, we have one last prize package, which is the big one. which everyone saw earlier, some of the stuff that was on there. If you did not, just rest assured that everyone else's jaws are kind of dropped on this. So we're going to go ahead and do the official giveaway on this. But as everyone knows, I like everyone to kind of work for my giveaways on my shows.
Yeah,
so
work it.
Same thing, but to a degree a little bit higher. So this time what we're going to do is, if you've ever been on my show before and you know I do a version of Simon Says, which is Demon Says. So I'll tell you to go do something, and you come back. The first person to do that, of course, wins the prize. This time what's going to happen is, Jim, go ahead and give the number 3 up there, because I hate the way you do that. I can't do that. There it is. Something, yeah, there.
Which one do you want? You want this 3 or this 3?
However you name that off, the 1, 2, and then you tap off another one, and there you go. Yeah. Yeah, see, Tom's doing it too. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Everyone else is dirtier than you are.
Not exactly the Vulcan thing. It's not that complicated.
I can neither confirm nor deny said statement, Kara, so we'll just leave that one alone. So
Jim's from Texas, so it can't be that, Phil.
I'm not from Texas. I'm from the East Coast. Virginia.
Where are you from?
Virginia. Yeah.
What the hell are you
Wild
doing
and
in
wonderful.
Texas?
Exactly. I've been asking myself that for a month now.
Yeah, man.
So in order to go ahead and win this, everyone that is in here that has been here the entire time is eligible. Those names are Thomas, Mark, Lewis, Jay, Scott. Carrie Ann was in here. Is she still in here?
Is she still in here?
That's kind of cheating stuff.
She's coloring. She's coloring right now. She's not listening. Psst.
Andy,
Phil's talking to you.
Russell, and Tom. Yeah. Okay, so I got all y'all in here.
Gary's
You
in.
didn't say my name.
I don't know. He's reading off the names that are in there.
So as long as you're still in here, you are eligible.
You are eligible. I don't know what you're.
What?
So the way this works is, I want you to go to 3 crowdfunding projects. I will give you the projects you're going to be going to. Actually, I'm going to have each of my guests choose one of each. We're going to do it that way. We're going to have even more fun with this. So, hey, Jim, do you have a crowdfunding that you would like to send them to go ahead and come back with?
Does it have to be mine, or do you want it to be someone else's?
Oh, no, it can absolutely be yours. In fact, I'd prefer that it was.
Okay. Yeah, Totally Rad Life of Violet #3 / Rax #1 on Kickstarter.
All right, so there is one of them. I need that one, plus I've got 2 more. The first person to come back with all 3 where I am tagged in the post will win. I have to be tagged in the post on Facebook. So there is one there. Alfred and Kara, do y'all want to choose a crowdfunding that you can send them to?
Yes, we want to choose our own.
Confessions
Confessions of a Cosplay Diva
on Indiegogo.
on Indiegogo. We are only about 20. What are we? 2,500, or are we 2,000 away from our final big stretch goal?
Ooh.
So we're 20
Big stretch goal.
away from that. So we're gonna send that link right over.
All right, for the third and final, Tom, you go ahead and make a choice on that. What crowdfunding do you want to send them to?
Phil?
I don't have anything going, so I'll tell you what. There's a Moby Dick zombie book on Kickstarter.
Oh, Matt's book, yeah.
Yeah.
Whose book?
Matt Sorb.
Yep.
Wow.
Good.
Go check out
So-
the Moby Dick zombie book.
Is Moby Dick the zombie?
Yes.
So
Oh,
the whale is the zombie.
you sold me on Dick.
Third book.
I would imagine he wouldn't be very seaworthy. Okay. I mean, if you've ever seen a corpse in the water, it doesn't look very good for the corpse.
Hey, Jaws had half his face blown off, and he was fine.
That's true.
Oh, I love Jaws.
Jaws had half his face blown off.
But he can't dive because decomposing bodies create gases. That's why they float. It's too much specifics.
But zombies aren't real, Steph. It's a comic book.
I know. I always do that. I'm always like, what? But that can't.
It's not
be.
based on fact.
No, I would imagine not.
So we have got 3 that you've got to come back with. So that would be Totally Rad Life of Violet number 3, Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. And what is the name of that book, Chuck? I can't remember. I can't remember right now.
Dead Dick? I don't know. I don't remember.
It's called like Moby Dick from the depths, something like that. Or
So
from
much
the deep,
for
or
hoping you were
something
going
like
to
that.
go with Moby Zombie. No, he went the other route.
What in
Nice.
the hell is
Classic.
I mean, it could be done. If you're not finding it, it could be done. I'm not sure. I just remember
He
seeing it
just
not
had
long
it on
ago.
a show just like 2 days ago, so I doubt it.
Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3. We have a winner.
Uh-oh.
We have a winner.
Oh, who's our winner?
All right. All right. Scott, you got all 3. You tagged me first before everyone else on that.
Very nice, Scott.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Make sure you send me your information as well on that one so I can get all that sent out. And I will have that sent out as soon as possible. There are some other ones that did not come in. I'm going to contact the artist and see if they're still willing to do that. If they are, they will send directly. So there may be some more things coming your way as well.
Hey, Demon?
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Can
What's
you
that?
throw one of the Belials that I sent to you, signed Belials? Throw it in, give it to Scott.
Oh, that's cool, Chuck.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes. I will definitely do that. Thank you. I'll definitely.
Yeah, of course.
Very cool. So Scott, you're getting a Belial as well. So it just got much better.
So now y'all can stay tuned for hour 3, where we all talk about the realities of giant sea monsters.
Zombie sea monsters.
That qualifies, yes.
Look, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's on the panel tonight, everyone that's in here in the audience, everyone that will be watching this later on, because this is the live version now, of course. I will say right now, though, nobody is eligible for any prizes after the live, so it's over and done with. Unless Scott just wants to give up his and Russell doesn't want his and nobody wants theirs, which I don't think is going to be the case. So thank you for everybody, because what you've done has actually given me the inspiration to go ahead and keep going with what I'm doing. I don't have an artist bone in my body. I can't draw, a stick figure or straight line to save my life. I'm working on my writing, and there are several that are actually in this panel that are pushing me on that as we speak. There's even more in the audience who are pushing me on that. Once I get to more of a stable environment where I can actually get a little more of a work schedule going and everything, I promise I will be working on that. And I'm hoping to be working with each of the ones that are on the panel and even more that are out in the audience on making sure that those books come out. So thank you very much. And I hope to keep doing this on a regular basis. So as long as you'll keep having me, I'll keep showing up.
I think that's kind of how we all feel. It's like you just we'll show up.
Very cool.
Definitely.
Well, again, thank you very much. And if y'all want to stay out here a little bit longer, you're more than welcome to. It's totally up to you and your schedules and everything. Steph, I know you've usually got 15 sketches you got to have done 15 minutes ago or so.
Steph doesn't sleep. He's got another 2 hours he can put into this.
No sleep.
Because now it goes completely, off. I don't have anything, written down or anything, so this can get very interesting very quickly. We can just talk about Jim and his freezer and stuff.
I'll be right back.
Wow, he bailed out on that in a hurry.
I'll stick around. Yeah, I'm here. Bye.
2 hours done. I said 2 hours, specifically 2 hours. I'm out.
He's going to talk to his union rep. I specifically said he had me in 203. Fuck that guy. No, I'm out of here. Oh.
There was supposed to be M&Ms, and there weren't supposed to be any brown M&Ms.
I specifically wanted the hazelnuts. Specifically.
This is Red Baron. I did not want Red Baron. I wanted Tony's.
Nobody asked for Tony's. That's bullshit. Nobody asked.
That's like the worst. It's like the worst frozen pizza ever made. Phil, I hope they're not one of your future sponsors. I know you have a lot.
Oh, we keep knocking off sponsors left and right. I don't know who I've got left.
I know we pissed Budweiser off last week.
Eventually, I'm gonna have to say, "Hey, Tom, can I get BDI to sponsor us?"
I'm still looking for that Red Lobster sponsorship. I mean, I take my crew there every single con we go anywhere in the country. Where are we going to dinner tonight? Stop asking. You know where we're going. It's Red Lobster.
Why Red Lobster?
Well, it became a thing, sort of, somehow. I mean, I just always liked it when I was a kid. I'd go to Red Lobster for my birthday or whatever. And so we were at cons, and no one could ever decide where they wanted to go. I was always open. Like, you guys decide. Like, there's like 10 people trying to make a decision. And I'm like, guess what? We're going to Red Lobster because none of you can make up a decision. And so that just happened enough times that it was like, yeah, we know what's happening here. In fact, for C2E2 last year, and this is the first and only time this has happened so far, we actually went 2 nights in a row.
Wow.
And when we got there the second night, the guy comes up and he gives us the spiel. Hey, I'm such and such, and I'm going to be your waiter. Hey, how's it going? Let me get your drinks. Yep. What do you want? Blah, blah. And he says, so let me tell you about our specials. I'm like, stop right there. We were here last night. We heard everything you're going to tell us. We know what's on the menu, and we know what we want. So it was bang, 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 bang. Here, we're done. And he looked at me like I was from another planet. And for the rest of the night, he was so flustered. He just didn't know what to say because we threw him off his script. And I felt bad, but I mean, we had it down. We knew what we were doing. So, you know.
I like those biscuits.
Oh, the biscuits are great, man.
Oh, God. Yeah, they're not the same whenever you buy them from the grocery store and make them yourself.
Oh, never do that. Never do that. That's blasphemy, man. That's like, freaking, I don't know. I had a good example, but it's too dirty, so I won't say it.
It's like calling a sex line and then telling them, "Can you please use my wife's name?" All right, like.
Actually, no. Calling them up and say, "Can you please keep your clothes on for this?"
Well, they'll deliver now. Just order some and they'll bring it to you.
Wait, Red Lobster?
Yeah, Red Lobster. Yeah.
Well, now, yeah.
Everything does now, but yeah, they were doing it anyway. But yeah.
Does anybody go there for the seafood? Just
Of course.
The name of the restaurant.
Of course.
The atmosphere. See, the way you are with Red Lobster, I'm the same way with Red Robin. Kind of ironic they both have the red in the name. Red Robin, like, that's my go-to.
Go-to.
I've been there. I've surpassed the burger thing. Like, I'm not a burger guy really anymore.
Yeah.
So I'll go to Red. I'll go there and eat, but the burger places are not on the top of my list anymore.
Oh wow.
Starving.
Unless it's In-N-Out. If I go out west, I'm
talking about food, and now I'm like,
I know. I'm like, I want food now.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm starting to get hungry. Like, I could go down the road and get some Whataburger. I know Phil hates it when I say I'm getting Whataburger because he doesn't have it in New Jersey. You see me and Chuck? Oh no, wait. Oh, actually, Alfred and Kara and Chuck are the only ones that have the pleasure, and myself are the only ones that have the pleasure of going to get Whataburger.
Yeah.
I can be there in 20 minutes. Let's do this.
Hell, I could be there in 2.
I'm in the country.
Oh damn, you're in that part of Texas.
yeah, man.
Isn't that most of Texas? I mean, there's like.
It is. It really is.
5 cities, and then the rest is desert.
And then, yeah, pretty much.
It's really just a large version of Oklahoma. Nothing different.
Yeah, you go from El Paso, and then like 6 hours of nothing, and then you're in Amarillo. Congratulations.
That's very accurate. Yes.
Yeah, I'm in Dallas, so like I'm not out in the country. But if I were to go like 30 minutes north, I'd be in the country.
Yeah, what is Dallas around? It's not around anything, is it? It's pretty much out there in the middle of nowhere on its own, isn't it?
Things are around Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you got the city and a little bit of suburbs, and then like, yeah, pretty much like there's really like, why would you ever want to visit Texas other than to see the Alamo?
And maybe the Ewing Ranch.
Or you could see me in Texas for the next year and a half, or not. 1 year. Yeah. So I renewed my lease, so I'm here for another year.
Whoa.
So,
sorry, the chicken's like trying to jump over here.
I know what she's doing. I
She's
recognize
Here we
this.
go.
What is it?
she's gonna try to fly from over there. She tries to find the best spot, the best vantage point to fly up and like land on my chair and like smack me in the head. Just
Something you never have to worry about with a cat.
We have cats.
No, I mean a cat
Does
flying.
the cat ever try to attack the chicken?
No.
They know better.
That's boring.
Wait, you know what you should do? You should really teach that chicken how to play tic-tac-toe, because I saw a chicken do that in Vegas, and it makes a lot of money.
Make me some money, chicken.
Well, I'm gonna buy her like a little piano and like teach her how to
make that chicken an OnlyFans account.
Oh,
Yeah, right?
Oh, what people will want me to do to her? Like, can you remove the feathers?
No.
Steps of her laying an egg.
Oh God. Oh no.
Nobody put that chicken on the
Jim's next
cosplay.
book, chicken porn.
Oh no! Don't do it, Jim.
The leave button.
It's
The
not even
leave button.
Saturday.
Yeah, I think we're rolling into unscripted. Not that we were scripted to begin with, but
No, it didn't seem very scripted before, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing stuff.
No problem, man. Biggest fan, man.
hey, he had questions. When I do these things, I don't even have questions. It's
That's
just
true.
where are we going now? Like when you and I talk stuff, it's just like, hey, we're over here. Now we're over here. Hey, now we're over here. It's the
That
craziest.
was supposed to be a 1-hour show. It turned into 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we only once mentioned the Kickstarter that we were supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
And no one has asked about the weird mannequin behind you.
I know, right?
Oh, we're
That
way
freaked
past
me out
that.
when you first came on, because I was like, who's standing behind him?
You haven't seen my mannequin before? She's been with me forever. She hangs out in the corner of my studio. and
Does she
scares
come to
the
life
hell
like in the
out of
movie?
Huh?
Does she come to life like in that movie?
No. No, she just stands there. You know what's cool? Because she's a typical mannequin from that time period. She has a slightly disapproving look, like a fashion model. So you always have this mannequin kind of, and especially because she's tall, she's on a stand. It's kind of like she's looking down at you, disapproving of whatever it is you're doing. So it's a good reminder to stay humble.
Well, dude, you put her in the corner.
I know, right?
Jim brought up that mannequin movie. Like, Jim, are you like old enough
Creepy.
to have
She's
seen
looking at
this
me now.
movie?
She knows I'm talking about her.
Yeah, I Mannequin's like one of my favorite movies with Jesse McCarthy and Kim Cattrall.
Yeah, you
I
weren't
love that
alive when
movie.
that came out, dude.
Yeah, I was negative like 6. Yeah, I love that movie. That's especially that soundtrack with Starship, which was previously known as Jefferson Starship, which was previously known as Jefferson Airplane. And now I think there's some sort of hovercraft. I don't remember where they went with Starship.
Jefferson hovercraft.
Okay, I gotta ask Jim. I gotta ask you this question, man. You weren't even born anywhere near the 80s. Where did you pick up all the 80s from? What?
He watched it from his dad's testicles.
I guess.
The gleam in my dad's
Now
eyes.
imagine his dad with his pants through it, like just.
He went to a lot of porno theaters in the 80s. No.
'Cause there's a-
So
He was hanging out with Pee Wee, was he?
well, when I was growing up, a lot of the TV shows and movies that they were running on the television, at least where I was living at, it was a lot of like the AMC before it became the Breaking Bad network and the Walking Dead network. They used to play a lot of they would play westerns in the mornings, and then they would play a lot of 70s, 80s, 90s movies on AMC. So that's the way I saw and every October they would do the giant Halloween. Every freaking day was a different horror movie usually it was from the 80s. And of course in the Sci-Fi Channel, before Sci-Fi started playing all the crap, some of it's crap, some of it's good. But before they started playing all that crap, science fiction movies, they'd actually play some actual good stuff. Well, good stuff to me might be bad stuff to other people, but
Right.
yeah. So, and then my dad, he raised me on Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Dokken, Van Halen, Van Hagar. And I mean, I remember
never
going
had
to
a
school.
chance.
I remember going to school and talking about these bands, and my friends were like, "What are you talking about? We're talking about The Fray and freaking Fall Out Boy and Blink-182." And I'm like, "I've never even heard of those guys. I don't know who they are." They were the biggest bands at the time, but I was like, "Nah, Van Halen's great. You guys should listen to Van Halen."
Well, I just think it's amazing because you have this absolute obsession with the 80s. And I almost feel bad sometimes because like you didn't live through it, and there was a lot of ugly things like fashion and trends in the 80s. There's certainly like members only jackets and stuff like that, and Z Cavaricis and stuff. But at the same time, you know, I was talking about it with Carrie, is like there was a lot of cool stuff going on in the 80s. I think it was just a simpler time, maybe. You know, we had evil empire Russia, and that was pretty much it. That was the only bad thing that was going on, kind of stuff. Like, you know, 3 Mile Island, things like that. Little things happen. But so I almost feel bad that you missed out on it. But like you know more about it sometimes than I do. And I'm like, dude, why do you remember that from the 80s? Like nobody remembers that from the 80s. But I guess you have an outsider's perspective of the decade.
Yeah, I love it. And you know, in my books too, I make a lot of 80s references, and sometimes people don't even catch it. They're like, wait a minute, Pee Wee Herman's in a movie theater. But Pee Wee Herman got arrested in a movie theater.
Oh, Pee Wee.
And like I'll throw like really obscure 80s references, like Return of the Living Dead references, like only like hardcore zombie fans will like, wait a minute, that's the name of the building that they worked at in Return of the Living Dead. It's like, hold on a second.
Return of the Living Dead is like the scariest movie in the whole world to me.
What?
Send more paramedics.
Because they can talk.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's why.
And they can run. And they can get naked.
And that's why it's scary.
That part 3.
And now we know where it starts.
Yep. Now we know how it all happened.
Yeah, that opened up a whole new door.
Next thing you know, they'll be writing about zombie whales.
Totally rad zombies.
Yeah, how have you not done that? I've not done a zombie story with the 80s.
I've been thinking about it, and I was like, I can't do it right at the time when I thought of it. I was like, I can't do it right now because Robert Kirkman's doing The Walking Dead. But now The Walking Dead's over, and there's no
zombie books besides The Walking Dead.
So
I
could do totally
any other zombie books. Hint. He's got one. Everybody can write a zombie book.
That's true, but so the other problem I have, because you know I make adult books, is like if I do totally rad zombies, like I don't want people thinking like, you know, Violet's in there having sex with dead people and it's like necrophilia type stuff. So I don't want to. If I do it, I don't want it to be an adult book where people are thinking, people who see it and know my books think, oh, so zombies are just having sex with women in this. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
See, if you have zombies having sex with each other, it's not necrophilia, and you're fine. Exactly. That's how you get over that. Come on, man.
Or maybe
is why I'm an editor.
Maybe that's how they get infected by the zombie virus. They have sex with each other, and then they become zombies.
Oh,
it's an STD.
That's it. We're all done.
It's a zombie STD. Yeah.
See, and now, Jim, you got to think. You're sitting there, you're thinking zombies. You can't do this, whatever. Zombie Tramp is a sexy zombie. So
right.
Sexy zombies, it's like, it can be done. It can definitely be done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm a huge Dan Mendoza fan, too. So, like, I don't want people thinking, like, I'm trying to steal his thunder either, too. Like,
well, yeah, you don't want to pick, like, a zombie tramp character. Right, exactly.
Right. I don't think it would be a zombie. I don't think it would be a sexy zombie. I think it would be more of a world with zombies as opposed to just specific characters, like, you know, maybe I would just have my totally rad characters like Violet show up, Neon shows up, you know, Roxy Feelgood, all my sexy clowns, a lot of licks, my newest sexy clown. You can guess what she's really good at.
No.
And Hootie McBoob and Bindi Bendenson. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, I'm trying to break the barrier of scary clowns. I'm trying to turn everyone's fears into fantasies by creating sexy clowns. You know, like I don't want like all the stereotypical scary clown stuff. It's like, yeah, but like this one's naked and she's having fun. She's not killing people. She's taking her top off.
Well, I saw I watched the movie It. We all saw It. I hated it. Oh my God, I hated it.
Which one? Any of them?
It. Well, the most recent two, whatever they are, however you want to call them. I hated both of them. But there were these cosplay chicks that were doing like sexy versions of it, and I'm like, yeah, I would watch that movie. I would watch. But whatever you gave me is junk. So go back and fix your formula. So that's what you got to do is find your way through it that way.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
know, like how many times I get asked a commission, they want a girl in a jumpsuit obviously unzipped jumpsuit, and with a Jason mask on. I'm like, so you don't even want to see her face. You just want to see boobs and Jason's mask. That's
I
really
did that too.
that's the extent of this commission. Like, well, that's sophisticated. But apparently for some people, that kind of stuff. So a clown face with a sexy girl, apparently, is a no-brainer. I would think that's an easy one.
Yeah, I didn't plan on her being as successful. Like her first appearance, the last Kickstarter I did, I wasn't planning on her to be a breakout character. I kind of did it as a joke, and now it's like my most popular character. And I was like, well, I guess I got to do other issues with her. Well, I don't, but like I'm having a lot of fun with it actually now. But like I created her, and I created Toasty, the killer toaster. So I was like, well, it's either Toasty's either getting an ongoing series or it's going to be this clown. I'm going to go with the clown for now, but Toasty is coming. So, so yeah, just imagine the brave little toaster, but
that's where my mind went.
Yeah, imagine the brave little toaster, but it's the soul of a crime lord who gets killed, or actually it's a killer toaster, comes to life, kills hookers and stuff.
And has sex with the blender or something. I mean,
well, well, I mean, you never know, because toasters can like put things in and then shove them out. So I mean,
I didn't want to go there. It was really just a joke. I was hoping you weren't going to go there, but
I'm waiting for the bend over blender line.
Do you know that in the 80s there was a screensaver that was flying toasters?
Yeah, with the wings. Yeah.
Was that the inspiration?
No, it was actually it was a little mix of the Ginger Dead Man and Killer Bong from Full Moon Entertainment, and a little mix of that with the brave little toaster. And it's like, how silly is it that a toaster goes out and kills people? I mean, and how do you kill a toaster? Because he goes unplugged. So it's like, well, do you just throw him in the bathtub? Like, how's he gonna die? Is he gonna rust up? I don't know. Is it gonna be raining outside? Wait, what?
You can't hit him with a sledgehammer? You know how many toasters I've replaced over the years? They're not exactly durable.
Wait, how many toasters are you hitting with sledgehammers?
I'm just saying they die on their own. They fall apart on their own all the time.
That's true. Yeah. There's a lot of the toasters you can get at Kohl's department store, the ones that are made out of plastic that'll melt. Like
you should have the toaster like running and go for a period of time and then just stop and just like wobble and stop. And then his warranties run out, so he's done. That's it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Maybe you put him in the freezer. Who knows?
Oh God!
Come back like
because
where he gets put in a box and gets given away at the bank.
Right. The main character forgets that he put him in there, and then he goes and does like a YouTube interview, and it just jumps out.
Yeah.
Or wait, what if he
die? The toaster has to die literally the day after the warranty expires.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to see off to the side. You have to
it's like you need a clock. Like as soon as it hits midnight, punk, and he just dies.
Right.
What if you take the toaster and the first issue you freeze it in the freezer, but then they forget about it, and then 100 years later they find the toaster in the freezer, but they don't know what the toaster is because there's no more toasters, and they don't know how to defeat the toaster because they've never had to deal with a toaster before. They don't understand what this talking metal box is coming at them.
The question is, though, is the toaster next to your phone?
Right.
See, I think you should get the toaster, and the toaster ends up on like an atomic field. It's bombarded with gamma rays, and then when it gets really angry, it becomes a toaster oven. Fuck yeah.
Oh.
And if you make toast in it after midnight, then it starts to extra like little pieces of toast, like little toast come out and take over.
What if the bread that you put in it, when it comes back out, they're like little evil bread men, or like evil Eggo waffles coming at you?
Yeah.
It transplants its own evil soul into the food that comes out. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. It contaminates the food. It makes the food that people eat evil.
See, this is gonna be.
And there's your zombies.
This is gonna be my next Kickstarter. I'm gonna do a sexy toaster cover. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it.
You don't have to. You
I
just
think
tell
Pop-Tarts
Steph, I got some ideas for you.
out. I'm saying you.
should shoot out Pop-Tarts that fly.
Oh, or like the toaster strudels, like you got to put the cream on. Wait.
Toaster strudels.
Never
See,
mind.
there you go. I can't do anything.
Now, are these bagel size slots or normal? Is it a 4-slice or a 2-slice?
Hold on, let me look at the toaster I have. I'm gonna base it off my own personal toaster, and I could do it as a giveaway on the next Kickstarter. The original totally rad toaster. Yeah, it's just one of the generic.
He's going to be trying to fall asleep tonight, worried about some noise in the kitchen.
Now, is your toaster a male toaster or a female toaster or both?
He's a dude.
Okay, so it wouldn't have boobs.
No, but I could have a sexy lady holding him up, covering her boobs by holding the toaster.
Absolutely. And then you could have it pop up and pop down.
Oh, it could be. Oh, the toaster could. Oh, I could. Oh man, I would be hitting a whole new market.
God.
The toaster could be transsexual.
He's gone. He's gone.
Bagels and the little popper. Yeah.
Oh, what if it's one of those toasters that you can put the hot dogs in? You seen those?
Yes.
Like the little wieners that you can fit in. Like I don't understand how you put a wiener. Well,
No, don't finish that.
Did your mom not talk to you about this? You didn't have to talk.
You've been studying the 80s too long, man.
Now, we discussed this earlier that Tom said he didn't want to hear the stories because then he'd start taking over and doing his own story that was like that. So
Listen, I have notes everywhere. So it's a race to Kickstarter. Who's getting the toaster first?
Princesses versus toasters.
Tom, we could do like we could break Kickstarter. You and I could team up and create the ultimate big dog, totally rad toaster story.
You see, and this is the funny thing. It sounds so bizarre and it sounds so stupid, but there are projects out there that have been crowdfunded that were so bizarre.
You're going to offer a piece of toast.
As long as people connect to it as a story,
You
they
can
don't care.
You can make breadcrumb covers and just glue it to the cover.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God! Instead of the jeweled editions, it's the breadcrumb editions.
Exactly. People would buy into the weirdness of that.
I would just hate for the comic collector that buys the breadcrumb edition and then put it in one of their comic boxes and forget about it, and then they get a bunch of ants in their books.
Right.
Chuck, I got to ask, how would you even prepare to edit a book like that?
A lot of
I would just dive in. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's usually the way it is, anyways.
The evil little toaster.
I'd probably just get really, really high, and then I'd be like, "All right, let's do this thing."
Let's do it. I'm telling you, some of the most epic things have been done just that way. It's like, what the hell? Let's do it.
Listen,
I mean-
somebody came into a pitch meeting someday and at one point and said, "Okay, there's a tornado and there's sharks in it."
That's got so many movies and had
Oh my.
so many celebrity cameos. Oh my God!
It is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Be closer to it.
That's what it is. Like he said with Sharknado, it can be absolutely
What happened?
bizarre, but if it connects,
Oh,
boom.
Your chair's broken.
It's it's just like there's like I want to do a snake movie, but all the anaconda movies are big, so let's put them on a plane. Anaconda on a plane, snakes on a plane. There we go.
Wait, what's that one with the earthquake with the worms underground?
Tremors.
Oh, Tremors.
Yeah,
Kevin Bacon.
stupid. Absolutely stupid. Gold mine.
What? That movie was amazing.
It's like if somebody who saw Dune got really high and tried to make their own version of it. Minus the spice.
It's like Rednecks and Dune, basically.
Hey, Tremors is a great movie though. I love I love Tremors actually.
But that's the thing. You love it. You don't know why you love it, or maybe you know you shouldn't love it,
Well-
but you do anyway.
Well, it's just like Pauly Shore and Biodome. But I love Biodome, but it's like one of the worst movies ever made, apparently, according to the interwebs. Or like
on that one.
Biodome and what's the other? Oh, the Tom Green movie, Freddy Got Fingered. That's like one of the greatest comedies of all time. But it's like
Yeah, I'm not supporting
nobody's
you on
seen
either
it.
one of those.
Good movies. It's movies I grew up on. This is where I get my ideas from.
I think we
Oh
should
yeah,
do like
but there
a
were
Tremor-
horrible movies in the '80s, like total
Oh, yeah.
Mannequin. What you're talking about, Mannequin, was horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
I know, it was so great. And it had the
Mannequin-
guy from Police Academy.
Mannequin's not a great movie.
Yeah, but see,
Guys
in
telling
the
me Mannequin was a
80s,
great
in the
movie.
80s, they made movies that were bad, but they were good bad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there's bad movies. Like, that's a
Right,
shitty
right.
movie. But
Right.
you can watch a movie like Mannequin and be like, well, that was stupid. But you're laughing through the whole thing. And
True.
just, you know, having a good time with it.
But it's not a great movie.
No,
Right.
no. But it's watchable.
Right. Yeah, it's not the
It's
Oscar
watchable.
winner of the year. You know, it's not going to the Academy Awards.
Well, I'm just comparing it to, like, say, Better Off Dead. I thought Better Off Dead, while it was a stupid movie, was definitely better made as far as story-wise than Mannequin. And I mean, maybe it's because what's his name was in Mannequin, and I can't stand him.
Oh, Jesse McCarthy?
Yeah, McCarthy, Andrew McCarthy or something, right?
Andrew McCarthy? One of those guys. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
hated him,
McCarthy.
everything he was in. Yeah, McCarthy. So
Wait,
maybe-
wait.
Bias, so you're out
He
of
was
this
in Pretty in Pink.
Right,
You don't like Pretty in
I may
Pink?
be biased because I couldn't stand him. Though young Kim Cattrall, always an eye catcher.
Oh, yeah, especially, what's that Kurt Russell movie, Big Trouble in Little China?
Yep.
I love
Yeah,
that one.
young.
Which Police Academy movie was she in? Yeah, like she's done tons of stuff, great stuff.
Right.
Police Academy 1. I love those Police Academy movies are so great and so bashed.
That's what Tom was saying. Those are bad movies that actually you can watch.
Yeah.
Maybe
They
the
got
first-
all of them on Netflix, or they did. I don't know if they took them off, but I recently rewatched the entire series. They got Bobcat Goldthwait is in those, like the first 3, 4.
Steve Guttenberg. Yep.
Oh yeah, Steve Guttenberg. Whatever happened to him?
He ran out.
Yeah, once he did his 80s movies, he really didn't have anything. What was the last thing he did? 2 Men and a Baby or something?
Yeah.
Disappeared? I think he disappeared.
3 Men and a Little Lady.
3 Men. Yeah, the sequel. 2 Men and a Baby.
This is what arrived in the mail today.
Oh, nice. On Blu-ray. Wow.
But at least you lived then. You lived through it.
Yes.
So, you have a point of reference.
All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut down the live portion of this. If we want to talk afterwards, we can and everything, but we're dropping like flies off here.
As soon as we start talking about Mannequin and toasters, they're like, bloop.
Yep, we're done.
To everyone
No, they were like, oh, we can't win anything anymore? Fuck it.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got some bucks.
We will see y'all next time. And remember, Unscripted tomorrow night if you want to jump on that. YouTube.
Woo!
More toaster talk.
I'll be there. Oh my God, yes. I'm gonna start drawing concept sketches. It's gonna be totally rad.
I'm gonna find something to do.